O Show. This is the Big 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 O Show.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Wilton Rayon has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Wilton Rayon, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Wilton Rayon can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Wilton Rayon can help. Call 954-966-4646.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Slomin Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Slomin Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Slomin Shield.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red, an infrared light, has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
I'm not hearing you.
Good morning. Welcome aboard. It is time to rock and roll. Yeah. There you go. Woo! It's Friday. It's a 2 of Friday. Yes, sir. Had to take it out of the box. This is my new Tua bobblehead. There you go. Anyway, gotta put it next to my Fiedler bobblehead. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good, baby. We are ready to rock and roll with a little Tua. I hope you all are. And I brought out a classic hat today. It's even got the rope. Huh? Is this an old man hat or what? This is like one of those classics, those throwbacks with the rope and everything. Like you're some kind of captain or some crap like that. All right, you can't hear me now, right? You can hear me now? You can hear me now? Verizon, you wanted to sponsor our show? All right, here we go. Anyway, welcome aboard. Man, it's good. It's good. It's Friday. Good, it's Friday. We got a little football tomorrow night with UM and Florida State. We'll be at walk-ons, and hopefully you guys will be out there with us. We're giving away a pair of tickets for the Heat and the Trailblazers. All you have to do is follow Red Recover on Instagram, red.recover, and post that you follow red.recover, use our hashtag Big O Radio Show, and we're going to pick a winner on Sunday in the post-game show. Remember, you must have a Ticketmaster account because we can't send you the tickets if you don't have a Ticketmaster account. This isn't like you go pick up the tickets and all that. We mail them to you. So you got to follow on Instagram, use the hashtag Big O Radio Show, follow red.recover on Instagram. You can follow us on Instagram, too, at Big O Radio Show. But Red Recover is going to pick a winner on Sunday. Here's your chance to go see the Heat and the Portland Trailblazers against Dame Lillard. And that's going to be a lot of fun. They're playing well. And the Heat have actually kind of figured things out the last couple of games. They've been playing a little better. So maybe we'll get a better performance there out of the Heat. So make sure you go to Instagram. It has to be Instagram because that's where you got to follow Red Recover, red.recover on Instagram. And then also use our hashtag Big O Radio Show, and you're automatically entered, and they will pick a winner on Sunday. We will announce and reach out to that winner on Sunday. You can be listening to the Dolphins post-game show that we got going on here on Sunday, and we'll have a little fun with all of that, okay? So make sure you do that. And we are also giving away a gift pack worth over $100 from NatureBee, 2 of them. Also, Instagram. You got to follow NatureBeeNZ on Instagram. All right. Tag a friend and use the hashtag Big O Radio Show. And in early December, we're going to pick 2 winners. So you or your friend could win. You know what I'm saying? So pick a family member, somebody that has an Instagram account. There it is. You're going to get that $100, over $100, that gift pack right there. So we got giveaways going on. We'll be giving away Caneswear gift cards. We'll be giving away Perdomo gift sets, a lighter, a cutter, and a hat. We'll be giving away walk-ons, walk-ons gift packs that has a gift card. Sometimes it's a glass or a T-shirt, coolie, all kinds of stuff in that little gift pack. And Game Day Vodka is going to be there serving up some Game Day Vodka. So if you want to try a little Game Day Vodka, come on out, man. Lots of reasons to come on out to walk-ons. There you go. Let's see. Fiedler looks like he has what is it? Goutus? Or you mean like gout, or is that goutus? What does that mean? I don't know. What does that mean?
Interesting. Jaundice.
Huh?
Jaundice.
What's jaundice? What is that? He does have a mark on his face. I don't know what the hell that is. And I don't know where he got it. I'm trying to take it off. Let me get a wipey. Let me get one of these disinfectants and see if I could.
It's when they have yellow skin at birth.
Huh?
Yellow skin.
Oh, okay. So like hepatitis and stuff like that, right? Like the yellow eyes.
It says more the skin, not the eyes.
Well, he's in South Florida. He's got a tan. I mean, I don't know. He looks kind of normal. The only thing is, I was wondering where this came from. He has like a spot there, you know. He's trying to take it off. Poor Jay. He's a little dirty there on the face. I don't know what the hell happened. He must have fallen and chipped on something. I don't know what the hell it is. Sorry, Jay. But you're always going to be here, buddy. You're always going to be in this corner right here. We stand by you the entire time. We're Doll fans all the way through, baby. Let's clean up Jay a little bit here. I don't think I've cleaned this one up in a while. So there you go. Jay looking better? A little better? No? But this will be the man on Sunday, right here, leading the Dolphins. 6-0 as a starter. And finisher, of course. Did you guys see the hoodie Tua had on during the press conference yesterday? Oh, yeah, that thing was awesome because it had this logo. That's why it was awesome. It was 2 days ago, by the way. Yes, that was a fresh hoodie. There's no doubt about that. But, I mean, anything with this logo is amazing. This is a simple hat. There's nothing to this hat. There's no design, nothing. Just that. And then this old-ass string that young people would never wear a hat like. I don't think I would wear this hat in public. I know that I'm kind of in public when I'm doing this show, but, this is different. We gotta show off a little classic look. We got I always wear the same Dolphin hat, that badass Dolphin hat that I have, and I figured, I got several other ones. Let me change it up and wear something a little different. Big O, that hat is dope as hell. Give me that. Ian from Brooklyn wants that hat, huh? How many of you want this hat, huh? How many of you want this hat? And there's nothing to this hat. It's like super simple. If I show it to you, it's like nothing. You know what I'm saying? But again, that's all you need. It's all you need. Me, I do. Yeah, me. That hat reminds me of the hat they used to sell on the corner gas stations. That's what I'm saying. It's like a simple hat. It's a super simple hat, but sometimes simple is fresh enough, and the hat is fresh enough, man. It's pretty cool. Kept it nice and clean because I keep it in this it's in this nylon bag, so it doesn't pick up any dust or anything like that. That's why it still looks like that. The logo, bro. The logo. You know it. Auction the hat off. Oh, man. It is the best logo ever. I'm with you there. And Ron G says, I'm with you. Oh, I only buy the old logo. Yeah, I don't buy the new logo. I can't. Although, like this one, like I don't buy it, but I had to buy, I wanted to buy this, but look what it has. It has the new logo on it, unfortunately. But I had to have the Tua bobblehead, and it's great for the studio and obviously great for the show. So I had to, unfortunately, it came with the damn new logo on it, which I can't stand. Please, Tom Garfinkel, please, Tom. Let's go back to this. Add a little twist to it, my brother. I don't mind. Modernize it a little bit if you want. I'm good with that. You want to add more detail to the fish or something? Fine, whatever. But give us back the real logo. Not that crap that we've got now going on, man. Ugh. God. I used to have the old logo adjustable mesh cap back in the day. Sweet. It is. Big O, what's the brand of trading cards that sells for record money? I need to buy my Tua football card. Well, this is his top one. Supposedly. It's a Panini. Okay? This is his top one. This is his top rookie card, Panini. Okay? So, there you go. I don't know, you can see it there. 1 of 653. So, and this one's a mint 10. So I had to go invest in it now because later on it's going to get expensive. So I might as well get his rookie card now. So this is supposedly his top rookie card. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but that's what it seems like. There might be somebody watching, listening that says, oh, you don't know shit about this. No, it's this card that's better than this one. I'm not exactly sure. But at least from the little bit of studying that it looked like this was his top card, this Panini card. So there you go. This is the one I got. Okay. And of course, what's it called? I think you could get them on eBay and Amazon, and I don't know. Was it Jeff at, was it All Star Collectibles, right? I think locally. I don't know if Jeff still is. I think his name was Jeff, if I'm remember correctly. I don't know if they're still there actually, because I don't necessarily go a lot to it, so I can't. Yeah, Jeff Sachs, All Star Collectibles. Jeff's a good dude. I have not been All Star Collectibles in a while. Can you check it out for me, Sean, if All Star Collectibles is still open? And I know Sinbad Sports, they also have collectibles too there. They have cards there. Those are some of the places locally you could go. But if you just want to go online, like I did, there you go. Carlos says 2020 Panini Oh, Bisidin Tua Tunga Vailoa 103 RC Auto Blue Finite 101 PSA. Is that what I have? Because it is Panini.
It's on University Drive, right?
Yeah, it's on University.
Yeah, still open.
Okay, yeah. Jeff Sachs is a good dude. I know Jeff. Haven't talked to Jeff in a long time, but he's a really good dude and good place, honest people. And when I needed to buy stuff, I would go there all the time to All Star Collectibles. That I can. They're not a sponsor or anything, but whether you're a sponsor or not, I would have to believe in your product in order for me to allow you to be on the show. So whether you're paying or you're not paying, I would only promote things that I believe in, period. And so once I don't believe in the product, I will not represent the product. But Jeff Sachs is a guy that I would trust. That's for sure. Rated rookie Tua card, usually the best one to collect. The new logo is a whale, not a dolphin, and we need our colors back. Yes. Can you slide me that Tua card? Frankie, you can buy that Tua card. Okay. I'm keeping that Tua card. I'm keeping it right next to my Merino. Okay. There you go. All right. So keep it right next to my Merino, which is right next to my Julius Irving. See, I don't F around, bro. I got my peoples that I follow and collect. Players that I love, I got the collection. Great show watching from Ludowski. Ladowsi, is it Ladowsi or Ladauchi? Ladauchi, Georgia. How much is your Merino rookie card worth? I have no idea, John. No idea. Sean, do me a favor. Look up this rookie card from Dan Marino. It is a Topps 1983, I think it is. Or 80. Yeah, 83 probably. It's this one. If you see this one. Topps rookie card, Dan Marino. I'm going to guess $150, $200. I don't think it's worth a lot of money. I'm not sure. I have no idea, John. It might be $75. I have no idea. Really. Oh, it's 84. 84. There you go. Yes. Yes, Sean.
Let me see it again.
Oh, hold on a second. There you go.
It's an 84, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There's a sports memorabilia place that has it, but it looks like this might be a rated one.
Okay.
Going for $39.99.
$40?
No, $4,000.
$4,000. Wow. Not bad. This card's perfect, by the way. This card's like impeccable. Not centered. That's why it's probably not going to be a 10.
Yeah, this is on a sports memorabilia site, but yeah.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't know it was worth that much. I thought it maybe $200, maybe $150. 4,000. Okay. So maybe mine's only
I don't have all the ends on everything, but yeah.
What's that?
So I don't have all the ends on where to go to look for those prices, but everything
okay. Carlos is saying 2,500 to 8,700 on a 10 on eBay. Wow.
Okay. Yeah, that's
get it graded. Oh, could be worth more. Yeah, I'm. You know what? I'm not worried. I'm not worried about it. I'm not selling it, so it's not one of those things that it's never for sale. I'm not selling my Merino card ever. You know what I mean? So I don't really care about getting it, graded and all that. What for? I'm just going to waste money doing that. It's a great card. It's well kept. So I don't worry about that stuff. I have no intentions of selling it at all. Okay. When I pass away, whenever it is, then whoever's still around can keep it and whatever, but I don't plan on selling it whatsoever. I always plan on having my Merino and my whatever cards that I've collected over the years that are personal to me. That's what I do. I don't really just collect to collect. It's usually stuff that's personal to me. That's why I have it. $50 to $70 only, not worth much unless graded. No, that's fine. I'm not worried about grading it, so I can go get it worth more or whatever. It doesn't matter. Eddie Lev says I had the whole '84 top set stolen. Sucks. Had Marino, Elway, Dickerson, and rookies on it. I have the Barry Sanders rookie too, which I'm not sure if it's tops. Might be, or Fleer. Not exactly sure, but I know I have the Barry Sanders rookie also. Don't know how much that one's worth either. Never selling all my Dan Marino cards and Don Shula cards. Of course not. It's not something that has any money value. I'm sorry. It doesn't have a money value to those of us that are holding it. It's not about money for us. That's just the way normally those of us that are real fans that really care about the team and all that stuff, we don't collect shit to try to, let's wait to sell it and all that kind of stuff. Normally it's to cherish it. It's great memories, for us. It's kind of the way we roll. Damn. Kind of the way we roll. Anyway, Brooklyn Rob says, good morning, Big O and Sean. Just back from Europe vacation. Going back next year to see Maiden in Munich, Germany. Nice. And it'll be a different set than the Senjutsu set. So I don't know if you saw this last tour with Iron Maiden with Senjutsu. They're now going to do the next tour. I don't know if you know this, Brooklyn Rob, but from what I'm told or what's been reported, the next tour for Iron Maiden, it's going to be like song rarities, not really hits. So it's not about going to see the Number of the Beast and Run of the Hills and whatever. It's going to be maybe Phantom of the Opera and Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner and Sanctuary and it's going to be stuff like that. Die with Your Boots On, stuff like that. That's going to be pretty cool. And so it's going to be songs that are not necessarily the more popular ones, but to us hardcore Iron Maiden fans, obviously, you know what it reminds me of? What I'm going to see Sunday with Metallica, that you're going to see a lot of the old stuff. Some of it is still played, but not all of it, and that's kind of what it is. It's going to be rarities from different albums and just songs that they normally don't play. So that's going to be really, really cool. What I'd like one year is for Iron Maiden to not have their stage and everything so organized that it doesn't allow them any flexibility with their music. And what I mean by that is they come up with a 15, 16, 17 song set, and it's the same 15, 16, 17 songs that they play the entire tour. None of it ever changes. And why? Because everything is choreographed. All the effects, the lighting, the imaging, the props, all of that, they're all in the same order all the time, so they can't do anything. And that's one of the things that I love about like Pearl Jam and The Cure. They're like, in a way, they like to be a little bit more like a jam band, kind of like what Dave Matthews and Fish does. They'll play a certain set of songs every night, but then the other half of the set will change. And they'll have, I don't know, I want to say 60, 70 songs that they'll have practice. And from night to night, whatever it is, they'll change it up. You go to 2 Pearl Jam concerts, they will not be the same concert back to back, not even close. You go to 2 Cure concerts back to back, and you're going to see 2 different concerts. I'd love for Iron Maiden to do some of that, where everything isn't so organized, and just have some radical Eddies come in and out whenever the hell they want, and mix it up a little bit. I think it's cool when you can do something like that because it becomes even more fun for us as fans that we want to go to more shows in one tour. You know, if I could go to 10 Pearl Jam concerts in one tour, I would because I'm going to hear so many different songs. Same thing with The Cure. You know what I mean? That's probably why Dave Matthews fans and Fish fans love those bands so much because they never see the same damn concert ever. It's pretty cool. Big O, get it autographed. Now, I have a Merino helmet, a full-size Merino helmet autographed. So I'm not going to autograph. From everything that people tell me, it's not good to autograph the card. It's actually not a positive, you know. Everyone has a price. What's your price to sell it? Okay, John, 1 Bitcoin. Okay. Give me a Bitcoin and here. All right. That's all. Cash App is open. Cash Big O Show. Send me a whole Bitcoin and you tell me. I'll hand deliver. Okay. I'll hand deliver and do a show at your house. Okay. I'll give you the card and do a free show at your house if you get me a Bitcoin. How about that? There you go. That's my price. You're right. You know, when you're right, John. Can't argue when someone is right. And you want my Merino card? Here. I'll throw in my Dr. J card too. Okay? Dr. J and Merino, you give me a full Bitcoin, drop it in my Cash App. I'll take the cards personally to you wherever you live in the world and do a free show right from there. Okay? There you go. U2 is that way different set? No, they're not. No, they're not. They do practically the same set. What they'll do is in their last tour, I've seen U2, well over 50 times. What they did in their last set, in their last tour, they had one part of their set that was not choreographed and organized, and it was just lights. And they would do about 4 songs there, and they change up 1 or 2 of those, not more than that. They don't do that. Everything is organized, so it's not a different set every night. You clearly don't go to U2 concerts. You certainly have never gone to U2 concerts like I have. So trust me, I've seen U2 concerts over and over and over again, and in every tour, I go to multiple shows. Every tour they've ever had, I go to multiple shows. Like I remember in the Joshua Tree tour, the only difference between Miami and Tampa was Spanish Fly. They played Spanish Fly in Tampa. You know what I mean? Things like that, but they don't change up the set. That is not true. I'd love for that to be true, but no. I saw them 4 straight times at Madison Square Garden in the last tour, and they changed up 2 songs in two different concerts, just one song. So they don't really change up a lot. That is not true. Going to see The Cure for the first time in Switzerland in 2 weeks. Milton, bless you, brother. You're going to see a hell of a show, man. Pat in Asheville says, I have a Cure set list. It's 2 pages long. Yeah, they always play in the low 30s. That's what they do. They end up playing like 28, 32 songs, 31 songs. The last time I saw them 2 times in a row at oh God, what's the name of that amphitheater in Miami? Bayfront. They had 54 different songs in 2 nights. Pearl Jam, last time they were here, was 57 different songs in 2 nights. Frankie Fresco says that 2 and Dan Marino card are okay. The real question is, do you have a Sean Stanley wrestling card? I've been scouring eBay trying to find a Sean Stanley wrestling. There it is. There's the Sean Stanley wrestling picture. But I got to go get the card now. I got to find the Sean Stanley wrestling, the Sean Allen wrestling card. Okay, because that is a collector's item. If you could get a the Sean Allen wrestling card, that's priceless right there. That would make any card collection an absolute priceless, collection. That's what it would do. Good morning, Orlando. Fins up. Good morning, Francisco. Do you own a Larry Zonka rookie card? No, I do not, Brian. Big O, why do you think the media requires perfection for Tua versus everyone else? No one killed Allen for a sub 100 passer rating against Miami, but if Tua's has a decent 130 PR at least, I'm told I told you he sucks. Yeah, I know. It's the double standards there, bro. I don't know what it is. Can't explain it. That's all. And now that he's having success, some will want to justify the receivers. Meanwhile, you watch other people play, and the offense is not the same. Like, remember the people that thought that Teddy Bridgewater was going to take Tua's job, which, I mean, by the way, those of you that thought that, are you willing to just say, wow, that was really stupid on my part? I'm just wondering, have you said that? Because you watch those guys play, and it's not the same. And when you watch Tua play, but it's all right, man. As time goes on, people will figure it out, and they'll eat the crow, and that's it. No, U2 has the same stage lighting. They change maybe two. Exactly, yeah. They don't. It won't even get to 3, 1 or 2 maybe, Pat. That's it. They just don't change much. Big O R.I.P. Ray Guy, greatest punter of all time. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He passed away. He was in his 70s. Sad. Morning O, is there a band or artist that you have not yet seen that you have always wanted to see? Alive still, the Kinks. The Davies boys are still alive. They've talked about doing one more tour. I would like to see the Kinks. I'm trying to think of some, like Queen is gone. I can't see Freddie ever again. Those are useless conversations, people that aren't here anymore, but still around that I haven't seen. Cars are gone. I never saw them. In excess, Michael's gone. Can't see them. I don't know if there's anybody still alive. Like I saw Plan and Page together already, but I never saw Zepp. But then again, Bonzo's not around, so it doesn't matter. I don't know if there's any artist that's still alive that I have yet to see. No, I don't think so. I think anybody that I haven't seen, sadly, has already passed away or got too old already to see them. But I don't think there's anybody active, unless it's maybe somebody newer that I haven't seen that I like a lot. Trying to think of that. No, not really. Not really. Let's see. Dude, I was Larry's tech back on Pop Mart. I can pull up the set list from those tours. You can pull up whatever you want, my brother. I went to Pop. Their tours are practically the same. That's how they roll. They don't really, and if you one time somewhere saw where they changed it up, that wasn't the normal for them. The norm, take it from a guy that's been watching their tours since war till now, and I still go to all their tours, and I go multiple times. They don't change up. So you can, go check out whatever you want from whatever tour you want. But I know what I see from U2 all the time, and they don't change up. They just don't. And you made it sound like they do it all the time, and you had to go reach back to Pop 30 years ago where, maybe they did change up a day or two there for a couple songs or a song or two. But outside of that, they probably didn't do much. I saw U2 on, I think the pop tour was the one with Oasis. Was that 97? I saw it at the Oakland Coliseum with Oasis, and the next day with Rage Against the Machine at the LA Coliseum. And it was the same tour. It's the same songs. I remember pretty much. They don't really change that much. Did you see FIFA telling all the countries not to protest or focus on the Qatar deaths and bad living conditions because of the World Cup? Denmark wearing black jerseys to mourn the dead. I mean, this is what happens when you're dealing with the devil. How do we, the problem is that you just sell your soul for money and you don't care what you're teaming up with. And, they want the tourists that go there also to, don't think that you're in America or somewhere else where you can speak freely about what's going on and that kind of stuff. It's disgraceful that you're even doing this with Qatar. It's like the Live Golf Tournament, the same thing. We know the Saudis were part of what went on in 9/11, and yet, there you are. Everybody's selling themselves out for money. And you had a whole bunch of people that actually went to the damn tournament. And you brought it here to South Florida. It's just things that it's just beyond me but this is what happens, right? People will sell themselves and they don't care about what it stands for, unfortunately. So whether it's Qatar or the Saudis and Live Golf, there you go. Big O quick cue with Ike out. Do you see AJ returning to right tackle or left guard? I think left guard. No, Steven. I think Robert Jones will get the opportunity to earn the left guard spot. And I think Shell will stay at right tackle. I don't think Austin Jackson gets his job handed to him if Shell continues to play at the level that he's playing at right now. So, no, I don't agree. Now, Austin Jackson could be your swing tackle or could be your backup left guard. I think that's what could end up happening. But Robert Jones started off pretty well here, taking over for Eichenberg. If he comes in against Chicago now and starts to have a good game and Shell continues to play well, I don't know why you would disrupt that groove. That's, Austin has not done enough to say it was his job. He's done enough to lose his job. So the good thing is Austin has experience at guard and at tackle and can be that swing guy. That's the important part about that. But if Robert starts to excel at left guard and Shell continues to grow at right tackle, there's no reason to make any changes until one of them prove that you have to make a change. All right, let's do it, baby. Let's unleash the Wolf Pack.
We unleash the Wolf Pack as we get the latest in the NFL and the Miami Dolphins with our KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL Network insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370. Here's NFL insider Cameron Wolf.
All righty. Good morning, Cam. Well, let's start off with this. You were just listening to me answering this question. Do you agree that if Robert Jones excels at left guard and Shell continues to excel at right tackle, whenever Austin Jackson is ready to return, it's not a matter of plugging him in right now until you see weakness from those positions, because right now at right tackle, it's actually become a position that has settled down. And Robert Jones just started off well. We'll see how it goes from here. But if Robert plays well, does Austin get his job back, or does he become the swing tackle / maybe backup left guard?
I don't think Austin Jackson's done anything to deserve a guaranteed spot. I don't think that. No, at first, I don't know if he's going to be healthy enough to play this week anyway. I think they're still going to continue to ease him in, but it sort of gives them a excuse, a benefit to allow him to continue to heal, continue to get up to speed while those other guys play. And then I think, like you said, I think it'll be a situation where if those guys continue to play well, you don't want to mess up a good thing and a good flow. I think what's an interesting element of this is that Austin Jackson played left guard last year. The team decided to move him the right tackle, so they saw him better as a tackle than a guard. And so, Brandon Shell, like you mentioned, has played well. We haven't seen enough for Robert Jones. So the quote unquote obvious move would be, let's put Austin Jackson at left guard, right? But the team saw enough to move him away from left guard into right tackle. And so maybe they just don't see him as a guard. Maybe they see him strictly as a tackle, and maybe a guard only in a pinch. And so if that's the case, then you're probably looking at Robert Jones until Leon Eichenberg gets healthy. And then maybe it's just sort of Austin Jackson versus Brandon Shell, and just kind of the pressure on Brandon Shell to keep playing well. But yeah, like you mentioned, I don't see any immediate need to switch up the starting lineup unless those guys.
Ooh, you're fading in and out. Your voice goes out, and I don't know what it is about it, but it mutes you when you stop talking and then you start talking again. It's muting a little bit of what you're saying.
Do you hear me better now?
I hear you now. It's when you continue and then you stop to start again. Sometimes it's muting the first word or two that you're saying, and
Gotcha.
so that's the only reason. The Eichenberg thing, does that look like he can even come back this year?
Yeah, he will be able to come back from that. That's what the team hopes. It just may be closer to December, likely closer to December, middle of December, maybe. I think it's a deal where
this
they
a
thought
Byron Jones hope? Because those kind of hopes really don't work out. I'm just saying.
Right. That's why I said I hope, right? Because you can have a timeline, a 4 to 6 week timeline. But as we've seen, sometimes timelines get extended. I mean, Austin Jackson, let's be frank, he was supposed to be closer to the 4 to 6 week mark, and we're closing in on 7, I think, 7 or 8, and he still hasn't been deemed fully healthy enough to play. So,
high ankle, bro. High ankle.
Yeah.
He would have been better off with a broken bone, dude. High ankles are the worst, dude.
Right.
The worst.
Especially with the movement, and it was a significant high ankle sprain for him. Like, I've had high ankle sprains playing basketball, and man, like, you got to be on crutches. Like, for me, maybe I'm just a sissy. Like, maybe I'm just soft.
No. It's an unstable thing, dude. It becomes so unstable that I've had it too. I've had the high ankle sprains, and they last forever because you easily re-aggravate it all the damn time. And so it's just one, and I can't imagine a big dude like that has to use his feet as leverage to
Especially
push on big other people. Oh my God.
Yep. In this scheme, you have to move. They pull the offensive linemen so often. They have you moving to get a linebacker at the second level or a DB. And so if you're still hampered there, it's not like a power scheme. If you're playing a power scheme, all you're doing is moving 2 or 3 steps. And so they tape that ankle up like a brick and just say, hey, get out there and make it work. This is not that type of scheme. So, yeah, you got to be able to move to play, which is why I think that even beyond Austin Jackson's playing ability, I think they have the luxury right now to be able to ease him in as a backup. Maybe he's active as an active backup if somebody gets hurt or somebody's needed. But I think he's probably in that role until they need to make a decision.
I've been kind of telling all of you that all the guys that come on the last couple of weeks, and most of you have been fighting me on this. I think the other proof came just on Wednesday. I keep telling you, Tua listens. That's why he plays like a maniac. That's why he gets injured. That's why he hangs on to the ball. because he keeps hearing people that he's got a noodle arm, that he's too short, that he's not tough enough, that he doesn't listen, that he can't handle tough coaching, that he's not durable, that, he can't throw the deep ball. And sure enough, telling Maria Taylor he's taking receipts and the dig at the end on Wednesday. He listens, dude, just like anybody else. It may not be that he's listening to the radio or reading the newspaper, but he's listening to his agent, his brother, his cousin, his father, and Nolan, everybody telling him all the shit. Or he's in the locker room walking by a television and, somebody on some crazy show, Good Morning Football or take First Take or whatever, and they say some crazy ass shit about Tua, and he hears it and he just files it away. He files it away.
Yep. I've said the same thing. The illusion that coaches, that players, that front office executives do not know what is said about them is almost always false. Maybe they're not seeking out the news, but you would be shocked how many players in the locker room I go into who may be looking at Twitter, scrolling, or not just here in the Dolphins. Like, this has happened for years as I've covered the league. Guys search their name on Twitter. Guys look at everything, and it's just a commonplace. Like, it's like Googling yourself. You want to know what people are saying about you, even if you don't respond. And so Tua, he's clearly feeling good about himself, which he should. He's playing really well. And I actually like the spiciness about it. I'd rather that than keep everything internal and just have it bother you. And, bite back when you feel like you have a right to bite back. And so the narrative was so loud this offseason.
It's breaking up. It's breaking up badly.
I'm not sure what's going on here.
I don't know why, but today the connection's not as good there. But go ahead, finish your point on Tua there.
I guess my overall point is that when you look at how loud the noise got about Tua, you can't hear me?
Oh, I hear you, but it sounds like back in the day when I used to talk Cuba, way before telephones got better. It sounds exactly like that. Abuela, ¿cómo tú estás? ¿Cómo te va todo allá en Cuba? And then I'm hearing her in the distance. Bien, chico, no tengo café. And so that's kind of what's going on there. Spanish people just laughed their asses off at what I just did, especially Cubans. Yeah, no, now we hear you fine on the Verizon commercial.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I just took my AirPods out completely. I don't know, maybe my AirPods were shot. But my whole thing is that as loud as the noise got about Tua this offseason, it was impossible for him not to hear it. And he hears it, like you said. I think he listens to it directly, but even if he doesn't, guys in the locker room show him. He sees it on TV. His brother tells him about it. His parents talk to him about it. His agent, his trainers. These are all people who can potentially talk to him about it. And so I don't see anything wrong with it unless it affects you negatively. And it seems like Tua is using it as positive fuel. Hopefully, the toughness element of it, though, that's the element I hope that he tones out, because that might be the only negative, because he wants to run people over to show people he's tough.
Like, no, dude, no, don't. Don't. This guy never ran a goddamn person over, okay?
Right.
That guy doesn't run people over, ever. Okay? And he was happy about not running anybody over. All right? So that's what I need Tua to be very happy about not running people over. Would be really nice.
You're plenty tough Tua without running people over. Trust me. I know that. Hopefully the league knows that. He's a plenty tough without that.
All right, so your assessment of the Chubb Wilson acquisition and the contract.
Yeah, I'm fine with it, man. Like I said, I think we talked about it the day it happened, before it happened. And my take was, you take an internal evaluation of yourself. If you feel like you're close enough to make the move, you make the move. And clearly this is them telling the world, we think we can win a championship this year. I don't know if they're right or not, but they think that they're willing to make the move, or at least this is our window. I think Tyreek said this is our window now, the next 2 or 3 years, and ideally longer, but at least that period, they think it hasn't, it started. And so Chubb has been a really good pass rusher. I know some people in Denver, so I got a little scouting report on him. He's been a really good pass rusher, really good locker room guy. His problem has been health. He's been hurt, quite a bit of games there. He's dealt with nicks. Even when he's played, he's been less than 100% sometimes. And so you say
we had Ben Albright. We had Ben Albright on 2 days ago. And I know Ben and Mike Kliss
I know
out
Ben
there,
too,
and those guys are as connected as anybody, and they love Chubb, dude. They love Chubb.
Chubb's a really good dude. I know Von Miller well, and Von was there with him, and he kind of mentored him early on. And there was thoughts that Chubb and Von would be like Von and DeMarcus Ware, where they were in the Super Bowl year. And so the problem was they both kept getting hurt in opposite years. And so they never were on the field consistently together. And so Chubb, I think it's a bold move given that guarantees. I hope there is some injury protection there because, like I said, a situation where a guy who's got hurt a lot continues to get hurt. That's probably my only worry with the contract. But at the same time, you've got a young core pass rusher in Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips in a division that has Josh Allen. That's exactly what you want. And you use a first-round pick, so what? What pass rusher are you going to get in the 25th overall pick? That's going to be Bradley Chubb. Unlikely that you get one. He'll be cheaper, but he won't be better, at least initially. And so they're making their move now. They did it with Tyreek. They're doing it with Bradley Chubb. And this sort of solidifies if there was any doubt that each guy, you eliminated all your safety valves. You eliminated your last round pick. You can't get a quarterback this year, even if you wanted to. So I think this says, hey, this is our core, and we're going with it. And so I like it. There are some hesitancy of the health stuff, but I do think it was moving. You hear me?
You broke up. I understood what you're saying, but you're breaking up really badly there down the stretch. I understood exactly what you're saying, but what I would add to what you just said, it's the whole Brian Flores effect. You were so inept on offense that you stunted the growth and the evaluation of the quarterback. So now they sped it up. And because the people that drafted him are the people that believe in him, then they are moving forward with him because they're convinced. It's the other people on the periphery, whether it was Flores that was here, whether it's the owners that were trying to, accommodate another quarterback and not Tua. And you can thank Tua. I said this earlier for Bradley Chubb. I talked about this earlier in the week that you can thank him because by Tua coming out and, spreading his wings since he started this season, you can feel good about the player now. Now you know that if he takes care of himself and doesn't do the stupid things, he'll be fine. So now all those picks that you had, you can use it to complete the team instead of what so many on the periphery were thinking, well, Tua fails, you can use those picks to get another quarterback. No, the good thing is Tua succeeded. So now you can use those picks to complete the team and try to make a run in the next 2-year window, because after these next 2 years, all hell breaks loose cap-wise. You and I know that.
Yeah. And, like I said, they have to do it. This is a team that we talk a lot about expectations, but they have to do it. But the reality to me is you look at the Bills and the Dolphins will say but to me the Bills and that's beyond that. I know but I'm getting two teams. Yes, beyond that, there's a group of I don't know, man. I'm not AirPods in at all, so I'm not sure what's going on, if it's my end or your end.
Are you in the Keys or something? Are you in a nuclear bomb shelter? Where are you in the Lincoln Tunnel? Where are you?
No, I'm riding around, but I am my Wi-Fi.
The Everglades? But where are you riding around in the Everglades? Like it's somewhere where you have
near my house.
Okay, do you have Mint Mobile or something? What's going on here?
No, I've got AT&T. I've got 4 bars right now. That's why I'm not sure what's going on, because I've got 4 bars. It's saying
Now you
everything's
sound good.
Yeah.
Now you sound good.
Yeah,
Tell the wife to stop driving under power lines or something. I don't know what's going on. Okay? I don't know what's going on. But somebody is the kid driving. That's what's going on. The kid is driving. That's what it is. What are you doing? You got the kid already driving?
No, she's
too young to be driving there, Cam.
Right. Nah, she's not driving, but yeah, I'm not sure what's going on, honestly. I'm not on Wi-Fi on my service and said I have 4 bars. So
now you
I'll try
sound
to
good.
talk.
Now you sound good.
Hopefully it sounds good.
Okay, wherever you're at now, finish your answer now because you sound good.
Yeah, no, I think they're in that tier right behind the Bills and the Chiefs, and I can't make an argument firmly that anybody else is far and away better than them. So they've got a shot, just like the Bengals did last year, to make their run. And so I like. I think that he completes that backfield a lot better than Edmonds does, and yeah, we'll see.
All right, follow him on at Cam, and of course you can catch him you can catch him there all the time. Cam, as always, my brother, enjoy and we'll catch you next week. That's your KSDT CPA hard to hear Miami Dolphins reports.
This has been the KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
All right. That happens. Live phones. What are you going to do? We'll get Manny Navarro, hopefully with a much better. He's usually at home, so we'll get a better line with him. We'll get Joe Shad at 11:30. Scott Pianowski, remember, line up your fantasy football questions. Don't send them in on the chat board right now because they'll get lost. He'll come in at noon, so send them in right now if you want, and they'll be there on the Wilton Rayon text line at 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. And then Ira Winderman will stop by at 12:30. We'll talk a little basketball with him, Pacers and Heat tonight. At 1:15, Craig Mish talk a little baseball with the Welt and Rayon batters box. And we got the World Series, we got the Schumacher stuff, so we got some stuff to talk to him about. Appreciate all of you out there. Pat in Asheville goes, this is a very painful to watch. Yikes. Yeah, it was tough. He had a rough connection, man. It happens sometimes. It happens. Mike Thompson says it's near his house. He may be trying to connect to his house's Wi-Fi. He should maybe try to turn off his phone's Wi-Fi. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Whatever, bro. You know, it is what it is. We had to kind of end it already at that point because it was just breaking up way too much. It could not really be understood, unfortunately. Big O, are you getting that interview for half off since that's all we could hear? I should, right? I should get half off for that interview, right? That's true. We should dock his pay a little bit at the end of the month. I think so, for chiming in with a shitty connection. I like that. Then when he gets a check at the end of the month, it's a smaller check. Hey, yo, what happened? Shitty phone. You got to get a better signal, bro. You know, you give me a discounted report, you get a discounted check. I like that. It's just one of those things. It happens. You know, sometimes you're in bad patches, and we got a bad patch Adams. That's it. Arnaldo says, Big O, Tua is the number 1 rated QB in the NFL, the Samoan sniper, baby. Yes, he is. And I'll tell you this. One of the things that I like about what I'm seeing with the Miami Dolphins. And remember, we talked about yesterday with the whole Tua reaction on the Super Bowl stuff and all that. And I told you, why not? Why not feel good about your team? Why not feel positive? Why not root on your team? Why not have confidence? The front office has confidence. You know, they've built a pretty damn good team. This is the best Dolphin team you've had in decades. Okay? Decades. The most complete Dolphins team you've had in decades. And they're far from complete. They have holes in it. There's no doubt, okay? I'm not telling you that, but this team is better than anything you've built in 20 plus years. Let's just call it like we see it. So why not feel comfortable? Why not feel confident? And at the same time, what I love, and you should feel confident, is in this franchise that they're always willing to do what it takes to try to win. From the coaches in the past to whatever, to the resources and the bubble. And this time, you know, they had to go fire the coach, make a tough decision after a couple of years, say, no, we're going in the wrong direction. Looks like they found themselves the right coach and their franchise quarterback. And they've made moves from Teron Armstead to Connor Williams to now Tyreek. And also, here we go with Bradley Chubb and even a little Jeff Wilson too. This is a franchise that wants to win. They're committed to winning. And with X, Sealer, Phillips, Ogba, Chubb, Waddle, Hill, Tua, Gesicki, Armstead, Connor Williams. The window's now, man. This is the window. This next couple of years is what you got to go for. So if you have an opportunity to turn a first-round pick into Tyreek Hill, you do it. And if you can turn it into Bradley Chubb, you do it. That's what you're supposed to do if you're the front office. So for those of you out there, this is what you should love, that they're committed to this. And believe it or not, it sneaks up on you before you know it. Did the Bengals think that their window started last year? No, but it did now. And so they've got to find a way. They added offensive linemen. We'll see if they can get back to the playoffs and make an impact. Well, guess what? The Dolphins window just opened. So it's up to the front office and the players to find out how long they can keep this thing open, because it doesn't stay open very long. Whatever happened with the Patriots and Brady, that was a rarity. More often than not, it's only a couple of years. And then it closes for cap reasons, for many other reasons. So the window just opened. Be confident. Have fun with this. This is something you haven't been able to do as a Dolphin fan in years, is actually have fun. It's always been turmoil. It's always been controversy. It's always been inept. It's always been terrible decisions, embarrassing moments. That's what's gone on for 20 years. That's not what's going on right now. Not on the football side. The owner's a clown. We all know that. But the front office, they had it right with Tua. They had everything going right. It's some of the media members, some of the fans, the owner, and the last coach. Those people were the wrong people around this front office. But the front office clearly has gotten it more right than wrong. So get on board, have some fun, have confidence, and feel good about the Dolphins, man. That's it. It's enjoy the ride. This is a lot of fun to watch. They actually look like a pretty competent team. Mike McDaniel has done, even in the 3 losses, I was impressed. They had moments to win those games. But as I told you in the offseason, if Tua is injured, because remember we had all that stupidity of, oh, Teddy Bridgewater is going to take his job, and, oh, I think Skyler should be number, and all that stupidity. And I told you all that if Tua's not there, you're dead in the water. The season is over. And you've already seen it. Okay? Tua's the guy. Now this team has gotten better, and it's not only relying on the defense like it has for 20 years. It has an offense that can bail them out. So have some fun, man. The window's open. not just for fun, but for an opportunity. It may not be the title this year, but it could be next year. They're not that far away. Not in this crazy-ass NFL where you could go from worst to first really quickly. Enjoy. All right, let's talk a little Canes with our man Manny Navarro. We'll start hour number 2 in our Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes report.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slomin's, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
Are we ready to rock? The question is, will the Canes be ready to roll on Saturday night? That is the question. That is why we bring on Manny Navarro. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Doing good, Oh. How are you?
Can't complain, man. Can't complain unless we'll see on Saturday night if I'll have plenty of things to complain about. Obviously, they're, favored by 7.5 now at this point. So Vegas feels like FSU is comfortably the team to win in this game. The question I have is, Van Dyke, you have felt since last week that he would not play. We are now less than 24. Well, no, actually, we're a little more than 24 hours away from the game. What are you feeling still about this? About Tyler Van Dyke playing tomorrow?
Well, I mean, listen, they've gone with the story the whole week, right? Saying that he's going to end up playing in this game, or at least practicing leading up to this game, right? He's preparing for it. But whether or not he actually suits up and plays, though, I honestly have no idea. I would be surprised still. My gut still tells me to expect Jake Garcia out there.
It's just, that's what kills me in this matchup right here. If you tell me Jake Garcia is playing, I almost feel like the Canes have no shot. If you tell me Tyler Van Dyke's playing, I say Canes got a shot. Right. In fact, I'm taking the 7.5 if Tyler Van Dyke is playing. That's how much I think a difference in this game. Should I feel that way, or am I wrong for thinking that way?
No, I think you're 100% accurate. I mean, look, the bottom line is Jake Garcia, I mean, they ran a very, very conservative offense in their win at Virginia. And that's specifically because he was in there and Tyler wasn't. I think, we saw Josh Gaddis open this offense up when Tyler was in there. They turned it into a passing team, which is what they really have to be if they're going to have a chance to win games and score points. They can't. They're not good enough up front, to dictate to teams, hey, we're going to run the football. Like Henry Parrish can do a decent job running the ball, but he can't carry you to a win. This offensive line isn't good enough to carry you to a win. You need Tyler Van Dyke to hit Will Mallory, to hit Colby Young, to hit the big play occasionally, to get this offense in the end zone. So without question, they're a better team with Tyler Van Dyke at quarterback, and I think last week proved it.
Yeah. Does Miami have the secondary to make some plays against Jordan and the boys? And can that front seven also contain him as a runner? Because that's the thing about that guy. He is a multi-talented guy and can hurt you in different ways. But the good thing is he will have the brain fart with his arm. He will make a mistake. So does Miami have the secondary in the front seven to control him and force him into mistakes?
Yeah, I mean, I got faith in Kevin Steele to be a good play caller and to put guys in positions to do stuff. I mean, look, they're still one of the best teams in college football as far as getting pressure with your front four. So when you do that, you can drop guys into coverage. You can make it tougher for other teams to throw the football. And, you know, Jordan Travis is having a great year, but he's not an NFL quarterback. I mean, he's too little. He's not this is a guy who you're getting the best out of him right now. He's playing at his top level coming into this game.
And that's where I give that kid credit. He's gotten better and better and better. He has continued to improve. His trajectory has gone like this. You're right. He's not an NFL quarterback, but he's turned himself into a pretty good college quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of like De'Aaron King in a way, right? Where if he decided to take off and run, he could be like what De'Aaron was at times for Miami, where he's a real threat. I think that's kind of what he's become for FSU. To me, you know, the problem for Miami this week is going to be linebacker, because you had Wesley Besainth go down. He had an injury. You had a couple of other guys that were going to sort of provide some depth at that position. You don't have any depth going into this game. You basically got three linebackers you're going to be rotating in there. And anytime you got to depend on Corey Flagg and Keontra Smith and Caleb Johnson for 60, 70 snaps in a ball game with a running quarterback and some really elusive backs that FSU has, that's, to me, is where Miami is in some big-time trouble against Florida State. Johnny Wilson, look, he's a big, tall receiver, but I actually, believe it or not, I've got faith that DJ Ivey can fight with him, be physical, and has the size and the arms to knock some balls down. The question is, can Miami keep Jordan in the pocket, and how much will FSU rely on him to score points for them running the ball in the red zone? I think that's where Miami is vulnerable going into this game.
All right. For you, if you're going to control Travis, give me the two most important players on that defense.
Yeah, I would say number one, Leonard Taylor. You know, he's starting to really play like a five-star recruit is supposed to play. You know, you saw it last week against Virginia, creating pressure up the middle, disrupting plays in the backfield. He's got to be a disruptor. He's got to be a Russell Maryland, Warren Sapp type player in this game for Miami, where Florida State needs to double him, so maybe triple him to stop him from disrupting what they want to do offensively, because then that's going to free up, you know, the Jafari Harveys of the world, the Mitchell Agudes of the world to make plays. And I would say the second most important person after that is James Williams, who's supposed to be back and playing in this game. He's your last line of defense, right? He's the safety back there. Cam Kitchens is kind of your Ed Reed. James Williams is supposed to be your best tackler. And at times, James Williams has not been a very good tackler. He will lead in with a shoulder. He goes for the hit. You see guys bounce off of him and continue. If Miami's going to win this game, they need James Williams to be at his best, and he's coming off of injury, missing the last game. So I think, to me, those are the two guys that are most important for Miami in this game.
Okay, so now on the offensive side, if I don't have a lot of hope in Jake, and then they don't really have the running game to carry them and power through and keep the FSU offense off the field, how in the hell do you win the game offensively with Jake Garcia then?
No turnovers, execution, convert third down, keep their offense off the field. Look, even if you're not getting touchdowns because maybe you're not capable of it, get in field goal range and get points. If that's what you got to do, just use Borregales. Borregales was 4 for 4 last week. He's not a bad kicker, okay? Yes, he's missed some chippies early in his career, but if you just take points, if you can get 3 points.
You want us to resurrect Tony Sperano is what you're saying.
Well, no, I mean, obviously you want to get in the end zone, right? But my point is, don't have setbacks. Don't get to the FSU 30-yard line and then face a 3rd and 9 and 3rd and 11 and then take a sack. You understand what I'm saying? Stay in field goal range. Get points one way. If you can't pick up the first down, dive forward. I don't care. If you're going to get sacked, Run to the line of scrimmage and get tackled there. Don't lose 10, 11, 12 yards where now all of a sudden you're punting and pinning them back. I think this is the kind of game where every point for Miami is going to count if they're going to have a chance to win. And obviously they're going to need to force turnovers. I think without forcing Jordan Travis into mistakes, Florida State wins this game.
Okay, you brought something to, well, not you, but all of you guys brought something interesting. Well, you do many things interesting on Tuesday nights in the State of Florida Gridiron Roundtable, but something specifically for our conversation, something that Ira brought up that I thought was very interesting. I wanted to ask you about that in this segment on Friday. When it happened on Tuesday, I go, oh, this is something we got to talk about on Friday. So Saturday night is not really about a national championship. It's not about positioning yourself to try to take down Clemson because neither one of them are really in position to take down Clemson. So it's really more about recruiting. And the interesting part that I did not think about when Ira brought it up, it's that Norville and Mario are in two different stages of selling their program and recruiting, whereas Norville has to prove, see, what we've done for 3 years is working. We're better than Miami. Mario, on the other hand, has to say, you see, I just got here and we beat FSU and they've been at it for 3 years building. So on the line, it's not so much about a W or a loss or a conference championship or a national championship or a high ranking or anything like that. It's more about state recruiting than anything else for the next couple of years. That's what this game means more than anything else. Yay or nay?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, listen, none of these teams are in contention for anything meaningful beyond the bowl game. You know, for Florida State,
and those bowl games aren't meaningful either, by the way.
No,
the ones they're eligible for.
And when I say meaningful for bowl games, I mean the 15 extra practices that the coaches get and want, right, with their young players. That's what's meaningful for them. It's not the actual game. For me, yeah, I think it's 100%. I think Ira hit it on the head, 1,000 times over. I mean, for Florida State, this game, I mean, look, the bottom line is they're not recruiting at the same level Miami and Florida are, okay? They just aren't. Like, Miami's 8th, Florida's 9th in that 247 sports composite. FSU's in I think, 19 or 18, somewhere around there. In those rankings. And if you just look at who's committed to the program, Florida's got 14 of the blue chip recruits. Miami's got 8 in state. I think FSU has 5, one more than UCF. So to me, without question, this is a much more important game from Florida State from a big picture perspective of, hey, where are we in this turnaround for this program? So Mario can strike a blow to Norvell with a win in this game and really show, hey, listen, this guy, he needs transfers. He's not doing much with the freshmen that he's recruiting. And the truth is they aren't. I mean, that's why my question to Ira on Tuesday night was, what's going on with player development? Because all the guys who are making plays for FSU are transfers. It's not a whole lot of guys that he's recruited that are doing this. So that to me is what a lot of the recruits that are going to be in attendance in the 2024 class, forget it. It's not even 2023 anymore. Oh, it's the 2024, the juniors, right? The guys that are the big time players, they're coming to this game to watch that, to see who is developing, who is becoming important, and how are coaches utilizing those players. So it's an important game, for Mario to sort of show, hey, we're helping guys get better. Look at Nigel Kelly, for instance. He just got here and he's getting sacks for us. He's playing a lot for us. Look at, some of the other guys that have come here. Ja'Carri Brown, right? He's got a role in this offense. He's playing right away. Come help us. So that's the kind of stuff that you sell at a game where you've got a 5-3 Florida State and a 4-4 Miami.
Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. What are you working on at the Athletics so Canes fans can get ready for this Seminole game?
Yeah, I've been working all week talking to some former players, just why Miami has been so mediocre for the last 2 decades. So I'll have something on that coming up. I've also, I know this isn't a Miami story per se, but Drake May, the guy's all of a sudden in the Heisman race. You got a great quarterback at a program like North Carolina. He's going to be around to terrorize Miami next year as well. Where does he come from? What's his origin story? I talked to his high school coach yesterday about that, so there'll be a story on Drake. There's a lot of different things. I'm going early to Atlanta next week to go to spend some time at a couple of Georgia high schools. Miami's got one of the top linebackers in the country from up there in Georgia at Fayetteville High School. So I'm gonna be around working a lot of different things though.
Well, thank God Tua's on a roll, because if not, that Drake May story. Oh yeah, man, we can draft for him. Let's go. Let's draft him.
By the way, I tweeted something out about Tua a couple of days ago, and people were pissed at me. Miami fans got mad at me. But all I said was, look, I love the fact. All I did was tweet that I love the fact that he kind of went after the media a little bit with the jab. Like, hey, what about the deep ball? I thought that was great. The only thing I said was, look, hold off. Like, don't keep doing this every single week. Hold off until you lead them to a playoff win, and then you really stick it to the media, right? For all the criticism. Like, just win a few more games. That's all I want to see. A little bit more winning. That's all.
Yeah, but you know what? I got a counter to that. Here's what I always get. Because I get that, because obviously I've been a Tua guy from the get-go. And so some people tell me, well, slow down on Tua. And I go, well, why should I slow down on Tua when you guys had him buried already? You said he sucks, he can't throw, he's too short, he can't handle tough coaching. So you already had him buried. So why can't, if you had him buried, why can't I elevate him? You know what I'm saying? And so if I'm willing to go out on a limb, which I've done that my whole life in radio, that I go out on limbs. So it doesn't really matter to me that when I was writing for you guys.
Can do it, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. But when I was writing for you guys 4 years ago, I said fire Tannenbaum and Gase and put Chris Greer in place. And at that point, you know what the narrative is, right? Oh, no, Chris Greer's been here for 15 years. He's part of the problem. No, you idiots. He's never been in charge. He hasn't been part of the problem. And guess what? Look at him now. He's probably the best GM you've had in place in 20-plus years right now. Because I don't know if you know another GM that's done the shit that he's done here in the last couple of years. Not even Jimmy. Jimmy built a defense. This guy is building a team, found a quarterback and a coach and everything. It's different, dude. It's different. We haven't had a guy like that.
He deserves a lot of credit for what he's done. All I'm saying for Tua is I love the fact that he's bantering with the media. That, to me, I want to see more of in sports in general, right? Like, have a little fun, make this fun. All I'm saying is
Jimmy Butler goes after the media.
Sure.
Every time you deny him, you think he can't do this, his team can't do this. He reminds the media right away, oh, you guys said this, you guys said that. He lives and feeds off that shit like Michael Jordan. That's all.
That's why I got into this. So I enjoy that part of sports so much, when you can sort of have a little swagger to you, right? A little confidence. All I'm saying about Tua is, man, wait till the end of the season. Like, lead them to a couple playoff wins, do something, and then have your fun, because now they can't take that away from you. Right now, all I'm saying is they're 5-3. Wait till the end. Wait till you do it, because I don't want for him is I don't want people to turn around if in case something goes wrong here down the stretch, he gets hurt again, something happens where, well, look at that, he's talking crap and they were 5-3. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna kind of come back to rub him the wrong way, and I don't want that for the kid. I just think wait till you win and shut everybody up. That's all.
Either way, they're still waiting in the wings and waiting for him to fail so they can bounce, because they were already wrong. So now they got to try to find a way, because now all those people that said, oh, too short, noodle arm, all that stuff, now they're like, well, he has a hard time staying healthy. That's really also a concern with him. No, dude, that wasn't what you were talking about. You said he was too short. You said he didn't have an arm. You said he can't play, that kind of stuff. So now they're using that as a crutch, But
my fear with him. My fear with him, and the reason I wanted Justin Herbert and not him from the get-go, because I'm be honest and take responsibility for what I said. It's what I said. My whole thing was the hip injury, and I know how serious hip injuries are, and that was always my concern with him. If he's coming in as damaged goods, that's what I worried about, durability.
Right. Yeah, and that's the durability for me was my only concern with him because of all the injuries in Alabama. I never was concerned that he couldn't play. That I saw that in Alabama. I don't need to see that. I know that he can play. The timing, the accuracy, the anticipation, that shit you can't teach, dude. Either you have it or you don't, and he clearly has it.
And he's got the right coordinator now.
Yeah, and now he's got which is always – I always use Steve Young because I'm old enough to see Steve Young kick ass in the LA Express and then go to Tampa Bay and look absolutely terrible. And then Bill Walsh says, oh, good, I can buy low. Boom. And I pluck him away from Tampa Bay, and then that's it. And then he goes and wins a Super Bowl and goes on to the Hall of Fame because that's what he was in the first place. What he was in the LA Express, was what he was at BYU, what he was at San Francisco. Why was he that in Tampa Bay? Because your atmosphere was absolutely terrible, dude. You know, what are you going to do? Right. Archie Manning, same shit. Yep. If you're in a bad situation, dude, it's never going to help you as a player. Just the way it is. And by the way, back to that swag stuff that you talked about, the team you're covering, they were loaded with those guys back in the day.
That's one of the things missing. There's no question about it. And a lot of that swagger was just leadership. It was guys that had that swagger naturally. Honestly, I said this the other day. The one guy the last Hurricane who had any swagger was DJ Dallas. In my mind, like of guys that I covered, where I felt the guy had confidence and could and would go up to his teammates and they respected what he said. That's the last guy that I remember really feeling that in terms of covering this team.
And he's in the NFL.
And he's in the NFL. So. Yeah.
Although I thought King had some swag.
He did. He was confident in his own right.
And but they responded to him.
They did respond to him, but it was different. Like, I guess there's in my mind, I always saw it as a guy. Well, there's a ceiling to him, right? He's not going to really play in the NFL.
Right.
Like,
I
looked at it like, okay, who's the guy who could carry them, like lift them, and he did. Right. And you're right. Maybe I'm disregarding Derek. I don't mean to. For me personally, who reminded me of old school Kane, it was DJ.
I just saw everything elevate when he was around. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It was just, and that's kind of what you want in a leader. You know what I mean? And there's so few of those over the last, 10, 15 years. It's a real shame. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. More importantly, please subscribe to The Athletic and support him and all the great writers there at The Athletic. Manny, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you.
All right, man. Take care.
You got it. There you go. Manny Navarro. And that is our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
All right. By the way, Cutter's Edge Pro, great sponsors of our program and our platform. We love William. We love Mike. All the great people. Hibeto, just fantastic people there at Cutter's Edge Pro. You will see the excellence. Because when you expect excellence, that's what you get. And at cuttersedgepro.com, go to their Instagram page, Cutter's Edge Pro. Go check out example after example after example where they beautify homes and condominiums and businesses. And as you all know, a lot of you know, maybe some of you don't, when you actually add landscaping to your home, you also increase the value of your home. And when you add the proper landscaping to your home, you can also create a little bit more of an oasis. An example is what we've done in our backyard, where we've got some great landscaping. We've also got artificial turf for our doggies. We've got a little what's it called? A putting green, so I can work on the short game there. And so now we have created a little bit of an oasis in our backyard where the wife and I and some of the family members, my daughter, uncles, cousins, they come on over. We hang out, dogs are running around, all that good stuff. And by the way, the artificial turf, if you have dogs, it is the greatest invention in the earth. I got to tell you, because those of us that have dogs, you know what happens. They go outside, they do their business, they come back in, they bring dirt, they bring all kinds of, if it's raining, mud, all that, you got to clean their paws or something before they come into the house. When you have artificial turf, they bring nothing in. There's no dirt, there's no mud, there's no nothing. Even if it's raining a little bit and the turf is a little wet, nothing. And also when it's hot, they add this little white sand inside. It kills it 50 degrees cooler than the temperature. So it's always cool, even on hot days for the dogs. They can hang around, not feel anything. You could do it too. Walk around barefooted and you'll feel it. But I'm telling you, Man, landscaping just kind of changes everything. You pay mortgage for the entire house and yard. Well, use it, folks. Outdoor lighting, irrigation, artificial grass, they do it all. Listen, when we talk about total landscape solutions, we're talking about large HOAs, condominiums, corporate parks, large commercial buildings. They do it all from Dade through Palm Beach counties. They've got like 70 trucks. You'll see the Cutter's Edge Pro trucks all over South Florida. Call William or Mike right now. Tell them that Big O sent you. 954-472-0622. That's 954-472-0622. Or go to the website, cuttersedgepro.com. All right. Rosendo says, remember, in the NFL, there is no guarantee. Let's pray that Tua has a long and productive career. One hit and the dream is over. That's for everybody. I'm not worried about that. I worry only if he actually doesn't want to take care of himself and starts taking those chances. That's the depressing part. That's a sick heart, Big O. Why you got to have my heart sick, bro? I know I got 5 stents in it, but man, come on. We don't have to like pick on my heart now. I know you mean the hat, bro. I'm having fun. Should Finn fans be actually rooting for the Bills against the Jets this weekend? I got to tell you something. How about this? How about who gives a shit? You know, I don't care if it's the Bills or the Jets win. It doesn't matter to me. You know what matters to me? Dolphins take care of business. You already got a hand on Buffalo. All right, let's hope, let's pray the Dolphins can get healthier and they'll get better as it goes on. And maybe when they get to that Buffalo game again, they beat them again. How do you like them apples? I don't care that it's on the road. They can win that game. They got to be healthy. They got to have their quarterback. But they can win that game. I just need the Dolphins to take care of business. That's all I'm worried about. Beat the Bills this week. What is it, the Browns next week or something? You know, whatever the schedule is. Just take care of business. Everything else will fall into place. That's all. We've turned the page. Remember how I told you, don't live in the past. Don't worry about all the negativity in the past, all the shit. You got a better team. You got a better front office. You got a real quarterback now, all that kind of stuff. Same thing here, man. Same thing here. You're thinking like the old Dolphin fan, the one that doesn't have a good enough team, the one that doesn't have a quarterback because Jay Fiedler is serviceable, but he's not a franchise quarterback. You know, Chad Pennington, serviceable, but not a franchise quarterback. Jay Cutler, not good enough. Ray Lucas, not good enough. Pat White, not good enough. John Beck, not good enough. You know, Fitzpatrick, serviceable. Coaching staff, serviceable. That's what you're used to. So you needed help. You needed this to fall into place and that to fall into place. Oh, and I hope this, and I hope that. You don't need any of that anymore. You got a good football team. You got a good franchise. You got a great front office. What you need now is for players to take care of business. You don't got to worry about whatever the Bills and the Jets and the Patriots do. You don't care. You know what you need to do? Spank the Jets the next time you see them and send them a message. Hey, schmuck, you got lucky that we had our backup quarterbacks. Now we got our starter, and here we go. We're going to light your ass up. And when you see the Patriots, you beat them down again for 4 quarters like you did in the first game, and you dominate the game, and you make sure that they know that they never had a shot to win again, which they didn't have a shot to win in the first game. Make sure you send that message. And the next time you play the Bills, send them the ultimate message like you did Baltimore this year. Last year, you beat Baltimore at home. Tua comes off the bench. This year, you went to Baltimore down 21, you spotted them, and you beat their asses. That's what I want to see. So do that. Take care of business. Don't worry. You don't have to worry about help and all that other stuff. If Miami goes about their business, they will be just fine. Different times. Get on the train. All right, let's get into a little hijinks with Joe Shad and our hijinks sports grill Miami Dolphins report.
Dolphins fans, it's time to talk to the man with incredibly high standards. It's not easy to score an A or grade 10 out of 10 with this guy. In fact, he isn't impressed with Joey Chestnut's dominance, Usain Bolt's speed, or even Evan Ginkel's locks. Will the hijinks continue? Can the Miami Dolphins do the impossible by getting a passing grade with Joe Shad? It's time for the Hijinks Sports Grill Miami Dolphins report. This report is brought to you by Hijinks Sports Grill in Boca at 133 Southeast Meisner Boulevard. Enjoy happy hour 4 to 7 p.m. Reserve a VIP table online and receive 1 free sparkling wine. Follow them on Instagram at Hijinks Sports Grill. Here's Miami Dolphins insider Joe Shad.
All righty, there he is, Joe Shad. Don't forget, by the way, at the top of the hour, Scott Pianowski will join us to answer your fantasy football questions, so you can send them in already on the Wilton Rayon text line at 855-912-1056. So send those in there for the top of the hour. Joe, good morning, sir. How are you doing? You doing all right? Do we have Joe? Is Joe there?
What's up, Big O? Doing well.
There we go. There we go. So what's the grade for Chris Greer and the trade of Bradley Chubb and Jeff Wilson? What's the grade? Because you gave an A to Tua this past week, which that was groundbreaking. That was earth-shattering stuff there that you actually gave Tua an A for his performance. So you tell me, what does Chris Greer get for the trade for those two players here at the deadline?
Yeah, I mean, I would say B plus. I mean, you have to take into consideration not just the first rounder that was yielded, but the contract that was given. Bradley Chubb has obviously proven to be a very good player when healthy throughout his career. In much the same way we're worried about the health of some other players on the Dolphins roster, like Teron Armstead. It's fair to wonder if Chubb will stay healthy and whether or not he'll, eventually live up to the contract terms that puts him in the sphere of the TJ Watts and Joey Bosa's. I have not watched Bradley Chubb every day. Obviously, the Dolphins scouting department has watched every snap that he has ever played in the NFL and college. So I trust that they believe that he's going to make a significant impact in this particular scheme, and I'm certainly excited to watch him starting Sunday.
Yep. No, I'm with you there. There's no doubt. I think Joe, they know their secondary is a little young, right? And you got to obviously get that pass rush going a little bit more to maybe hide those deficiencies, a little bit. X isn't 100% yet, and I don't know if he'll be 100% at any point this season, because I would imagine it's really hard to get healthy from 2 groin injuries while you've got to play a whole NFL season. I don't know. Maybe he can. Maybe, the treatment and all that stuff, it'll allow him. But I think that's why they had to make this move a little bit, to pick that up, to kind of hide a little bit the back end of the defense.
Yeah, I mean, there haven't been enough sacks. There should be more sacks and more pressures, even without bringing the blitz. Guys like Jalen Phillips and Christian Wilkins and Zach Sealer and Emmanuel Ogbah, especially Ogbah, need to step up in terms of delivering sacks and pressures. And Chubb is only going to help that. And so yeah, without Byron Jones, without Nick Needham, maybe you're a little less creative in terms of how often you bring 6, 7, 8 rushers. And maybe now you don't need to do that as much as you did last year with Chubb, who clearly can run around or power through, an offensive tackle on his own.
Yeah, that's what I like about Chubb, that he's very multifaceted, because he can rush the passer. He's good against the run, can do a little drop back, and can also what's it called? Hold the point too on the edge. I like him. He's just a complete player actually, and supposedly a real leader in the locker room too. I saw where Von Miller was talking about how much that he hated that he was in the division, and one of the things that he respects about Bradley is that he truly loves the game, and so it looks like that's also you're trying to find the right character people in there, and I think there's a lot of good characters in that locker room, and I think that's another thing that they've gone to go get with Connor and with Armstead, and even Tyreek, while he had some issues in the past, seeing him here now. He has shown good leadership qualities and being a guy that's, obviously always willing to work harder than almost anybody else that's out there.
Yeah, in and around the locker room, that is definitely one thing that I didn't realize in regards to Tyreek Hill, how hard he works in every practice, how engaging he is to his teammates, how he lifts them up and supports them. Not just Tua.
Wait, did you see his latest Did you see his latest TikTok?
TikTok. What did he say?
Oh, it's not what he said, my brother. It's what he did. Let's kill the billboard there. Let's show the folks. Do it.
What's up, Mr. Tyreek? I got the best hands on TikTok. Today I will be using syrup and butter. So round one will be syrup, round two will be butter. Just to prove I got the best hands. And if this don't prove I got the best hands, Steve Smith, Sharp, I will get on my knees and I will.
This is awesome. So now he gets a jugs machine. Now the syrup's kind of sticky. It's not as slippery. But now the butter. Now he's got the butter.
Tyreek should have showed this drill to Chase Edmonds.
Look at that.
Looks greasy to me. I got the best hands on TikTok, man.
It's fun.
What's up, Mr.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun. He's highly productive and he's fun. I asked him. I asked him, hey, what do you think about the general manager and coach coming out and saying, Tua's our guy. We're all in on Tua. Trading away all our first-round picks are an indication that, yes, we are all in on Tua. And he's like, man, what you ask me for? He's like, you got the big dogs telling you themselves.
Right.
I love this
guy.
Yeah,
well, you're the one that asked that question, right? You're the one that asked that question, right?
Yeah. I wanted to get his
I was
input
tripping
on the
out
organization support.
Yeah, I was tripping out with that question because, Joe, it's Flo that had doubts. It's the owner that had doubts. It's you that had doubts. Chris Greer and Marvin Allen and Reggie McKenzie never had a doubt. They picked that kid. They picked him before Herbert. Okay? So they believed he was the better quarterback than Herbert, hip or all. And by the way, so do I, because I told you that way before and you were laughing at me. And so overall, that's not for him. They always believed in him. And I actually talked about this a couple of days ago that you can actually thank Tua for Chubb. Because while the owners want to replace him, while the quarterback want to replace him, while a lot of the people in the media didn't believe in him, fans didn't believe in him, they all want to replace him. They all wanted to use the next year's picks to go find another quarterback. Well, you can thank Tua for now showing you that he can play. You can thank Mike McDaniel for putting him in that place. And now the front office can say, let's go use those picks to finish out this team because their window is now, Joe.
The window is now. And I do want to talk in a minute about the theme of the week at Dolphins camp, which shocks me, to be honest. It's like the complete opposite of the Brian Flores era. These guys are being encouraged to use the word Super Bowl in press conferences. Or I should at least say that they're clearly not being discouraged from that. So that's really just incredible that, they're saying the time is now, the window is now, seize the opportunity. Don't shy away from greatness. I mean, my goodness. I mean, this is just, it kind of does scare me a little bit. It does scare me a little bit. It does scare me a little bit because it's kind of like, I don't know. I don't believe in jinxes, but it's kind of like, I don't know. I'm kind of torn between you can't do it if you don't believe you can do it. I think that's the prevailing notion, but it's also kind of true that the teams that win it all usually don't talk like that. Usually, but listen, but it is.
Wait a minute. You guys brought up Super Bowl. They did not. You guys brought it up. Hey, do you guys now think you're contenders? So they're talking about it because you asked it. They did not come out, and you can go look at all the interviews. At no point did they come out and say, we're Super Bowl contenders. It was you all that brought up the questions. Well, now that you made this move, do you think you're contenders? Do you think you're this? So you put them in a corner, and what are they supposed to say? No, we're cowards. We're not ready to challenge. No, we believe in ourselves. We believe that we can be contenders. And if you're Tua Tagovailoa, you're the quarterback. Well, you're a quarterback.
They have the freedom. They have the freedom to do this now, where they couldn't do this in the Flores era. Let's be clear. They have the freedom to do this.
Flores era wouldn't allow you to talk at all, dude. This was like China last year. They were like living in Russia last year.
I know, but listen. What you said is not entirely accurate. Bradley Chubb, question: how does it feel to be in Miami? Response: it feels great. Yada yada yada. We can get after this playoff run and Super Bowl and accomplish all the goals we go out there to fight for. Bradley Chubb, first comments officially as a Miami Dolphins. How does it feel to be in Miami? Super Bowl.
Bradley Chubb is barely a Dolphin. I'm talking about Tua.
No, but
and
it's the
these
theme
guys.
of the week.
You guys brought it up to them.
It's the theme of the week.
But you brought it up to Tua. You brought it up to McDaniel.
Not me, another reporter.
The media brought it up. McDaniel never came out and talked about that. Neither did Tua. You guys brought it up.
No, we don't know. We don't know.
And Tua's not. If you tell Tua, hey Tua, can you take on a dragon? He'll go, yeah, of course I'll kick a dragon's ass, because that's who he is. Tell him anything.
No, I disagree with you. So Tua Tagovailoa uses the words Super Bowl, and I think this is okay. I think it's good. I think it's a complete 180 from previous mindsets. Okay. Question. This is a Chris Perkins question, I think. Do you think these acquisitions make you Super Bowl contenders?
Told you.
I can guarantee you, and this is my point, in the Brian Flores era, Tua would have said, I'm only focused on the Bears.
Right.
Now, okay. Now, whether or not Tua said, we're not afraid to talk about Super Bowls here. We're not afraid to talk about the playoffs. Okay, listen, this is not just, Chris Perkins tripped up Tua. Okay, this is a revelation of a mindset shift, which is totally fine. But
Doggy, that mindset's been there all off season. This is a coach that allows you to be who you are.
Right. Now, I want to tell you something important.
You
referenced the Tua haters, okay? According to the official We Are 2-0 account, the receipts list of Tua haters the official list has been released. Have you seen this on social media?
Yeah, it's a writing from some guy that has a page.
Right,
yeah.
But here's it. So listen, I'm going to name some of the people who are official Tua haters.
Rich Eisen does not belong on that list, by the way.
I'm not on the list. Let's just go through some of these.
You're not on that list?
No, listen.
Oh. Okay.
I am not on the receipts list. Okay, the official list released by the We Are 2-0 account, which I support. Here are some of the people who have said things about Tua that are mean, much meaner than me. Okay, Sean Payton, Adam Archuleta. I'm going through the list. These are people who are mean to Tua. Brian Greasy, Phil Simms, Chris Perkins made the list. Chris Long, Dave Portnoy. He's the Barstool guy, right?
Yeah.
Vince Beagle. That's probably why Vince Beagle isn't here, because you remember he was all in on Deshaun Watson. How we forget about that. Peter Schrager, who's the biggest Dolphins fan in the national media.
Really?
Keyshawn Johnson, Joy Taylor, Rex Ryan, So Chris Mortensen, these are all Todd McShay. These are all people. Kyle Van Noy. There's hundreds of people. Colin
I don't
Coward, Ben
mind.
Volin,
I have a
Omar
problem with.
Kelly, Armando, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Dave Hyde, Brian Flores in bold, the biggest Tua hater. Mike Tannenbaum, Chris Sims, Mike Florio, Chan Gailey. Now, I want to say two things. Number one, it is amazing.
Schrager should not be on that list.
It is, I know, because he's a Dolphins fan. He's a Dolphins fan. He's all in on the Dolphins. He has a relationship clearly with the organization. Listen.
He talks about the Dolphins that they're going to be good when they suck, actually.
I know.
Yeah.
And I like Peter and I respect him.
I love Peter.
He's emotionally invested.
Yes.
I believe he has stock in the Dolphins leadership. And that's fine. So listen, two things. One, it is amazing how many people publicly have questioned whether Kurt Warner obviously should be on the list. Publicly have questioned whether or not Tua Tagovailoa has the goods to be an elite, premier, upper echelon NFL quarterback. It's shocking, the list, the number of people, former NFL players, NFL executives. These are not just talking heads per se, okay? And then number two, I just want to officially, for the record, according to the official We Are 2-0 account, Adam Beasley's on the list too. I'm not on the list. So it appears
you should be on that list too.
Now listen, We Are 2-0. We Are 2-0. They follow me on Twitter. Okay, so we're friends. Okay, so I am friends with 2-0. This is official. Okay, and clearly they have read the hundreds of columns that I have written in support of Tua, and the
have they
thousands
listened to you
of
on this
tweets.
show? Have they listened to you on this show?
Yeah, because you tripped me up one time. Got one soundbite out of me that everybody points to, okay? And so that's fine. That's fine. I'm a big boy. I can deal with it. I was watching this Selena Gomez thing on Apple TV, and I thought to myself, this must be what Tua feels like. All these people coming at him, all these people around him, everybody wants to talk to him. Selena Gomez and Tua. It's pretty good. Did you watch it? Selena
No,
Gomez?
I have not. I have not watched that.
It's like it's one of those documentaries where they track her for like 6 years, and you see how, like, even though it seems like everything's perfect in someone's life because they're famous and they have money and everyone loves them, how, like, behind the scenes you have this, like, these real anxieties, And it's very fascinating. I love that stuff. I love that behind the scenes stuff where they, like, film stuff for like 6 years. They're probably filming a Tua documentary, that they'll release in 6 years. And it would be fascinating. It would be fascinating.
It would be. Yeah. For me, listen, the people I go after are the absolutes. I was talking about that yesterday. Like idiots like Mike Lombardi. Oh, Flores got fired for a quarterback that can't play. That's it. You're done with me. Now I'm going after your ass. See, I don't mind the people that say, hey, I got to see if Tua can do it. I got to see if Tua can stay healthy. I got no problem with that. The problem I always had is the people that came with absolutes. No, his arm ain't shit. He's too short. He's too lazy. He can't take tough coaching. Those are the people that bothered me because you just took a lazy approach to the whole thing.
Well, there should never be absolutes. There should never be absolutes about how far any quarterback can lead a team in the National Football League when surrounded with good coaching and good players. And the example here is clearly Jared Goff and Mitchell Trubisky. Those guys, and Jimmy Garoppolo, all right? And Trent Dilfer. All these guys who's his friend and a personal coach or whatever, right? That is interesting. I never really thought about that. Dilfer, obviously, not considered a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback, but led a team to a championship. And when they tried to upgrade off of Trent Dilfer, that was a mistake. So I absolutely agree that the guy with the biggest arm isn't necessarily the better player. Not necessarily. Right. I agree with you on that.
Right. That's why when I tell people Tua will be the better quarterback over Herbert, they freak out and they don't understand. Well, I'm not saying physical talent. Tua will never be the physical talent that Herbert is. He ain't the physical talent that Vince Young was. You know what I'm saying? Vince Young had way more talent than Tua, but that doesn't make him a better quarterback. And that's the difference. And that's why people laugh at me all the time when I used to say, this is Montana and Breeze and Tarkenton. It's the same dude. It's just they don't come around a lot. There's only a few of those in every era, but there's always a couple. Those smart guys. You're the Greg Maddux. You can't throw like Randy Johnson. I get it, bro. You're not as big and strong as some other pitchers, but you can paint every corner like Picasso, and you can make every batter look foolish because they don't know where the ball is going, even though it's coming at them at 87 miles an hour.
Now, listen, before the season, I predicted in print that Tua would be in the top 10 in passer rating and yards per attempt and all that sort of stuff. He's obviously number 1 in the NFL right now. It seems highly logical to suggest that he's going to, if he stays healthy, finish the season in the top 6 in passer rating, QBR, yards per attempt, completion percentage. If the Dolphins make the playoffs and he finishes there, everybody's perspective is going to change. And I'm going to tell you this: that's okay. You have then we would have far more information. We do, to be fair, have to note that he's only played 5 full games this year. It's only 5 games. Let's see how it goes. It is a small sample size, so let's see. Let's hope it continues.
You got him
by
winning?
the way, it might rain in Chicago on Sunday. Watch for that.
No big deal.
Tua downplayed weather and rain and cold, but that is something that he's gonna have to work through.
No, you have real coaching now. You're fine. When you have no coaching and you have no weapons and you have no offensive line and you have no running game, it becomes a whole different monster, Joe.
No, the running game is important. They're going to run the football.
Yeah, I think Mostert actually, I love Mostert this week in fantasy.
They're going to run it on Sunday. They're going to run it.
Chicago. I believe Chicago's been allowing either 90 yards or more to running backs lately. Or something like that.
It's 5 yards a carry. It's 5 yards a carry. The Dolphins average 5 yards a carry. Whatever the team rushing over is, go for that. I think the Dolphins need to win this game on the ground. Roquan Smith is out of there. Dolphins need to win this game on the ground. But Mike McDaniel likes to say, "I can't sprinkle fairy dust." And if the ball is wet, he can't sprinkle fairy dust. All right, so it needs to be reverses, end arounds, bubble screens to Tyreek and Jalen. Nothing downfield if it's a wet ball. I don't want to see the wet ball in the air.
Wet ball and all. He's going to slice them apart inside a 35-yard box. You're too worried about
the wet ball
50 yards downfield and 60 yards downfield, and that is not necessary. He is like OJ and Brentwood. He just slices your ass up inside that 35-yard box. And with those two weapons running around and getting open, it's really hard to stop them. I'm not. The weather thing will be less of an issue this year because people will see that Tua's going into the game now with a better line, a better running game, a better coaching staff, better weapons. So he'll be able to fight the elements and the narratives a lot easier. So
all right, I got to run in a minute, but Mike McDaniel had his press conference in Miami Gardens. I'm not there today. When I return, we're going to have to shift the timing of this 11:30 press conference. The 11:30 availability with you, because Mike McDaniel usually talks at 11:30, and if I'm there, I got to talk to him, not you. But Teron Armstead does have an Achilles wear and tear situation, which is not great. He's going to try to play through the Achilles and the toe. And McDaniel said that Bradley Chubb and Jeff Wilson will play more than 0 snaps. So obviously you see a package.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. You got him winning, right?
Someone on Twitter just said it's not raining. You don't know it's not going to rain. So, yeah, Dolphins win. Listen, all I know is I read an article.
By the way, that's a weatherman that's coming at you. Derek Sibley's actually a legitimate weatherman. He's a real weatherman. Okay.
Chicago. All right. So there you go. He really is a weatherman.
He is. He's a monster Dolphin fan, and he's a weatherman. He's a big fan of ours. WKBT News 8, weekdays, mornings, and noons. He's the meteorologist. So there you go, my man. So a meteorologist came back at your ass about the weather. Hard to argue with a meteorologist.
No, they're 100% correct. Just like people who predicted Tua's future. According to a real meteor,
I'm way better than a meteorologist. I mean,
it's hard to spell, Miller. It will not rain Sunday in Chicago. Good news for Miami.
There you go. You got it. All right, Joe, go get the coach. I appreciate you, my brother. We'll catch up next week, and be safe in your travels, my friend. All right,
see you, bud.
Thank you, my brother. Follow him on Twitter at Shad Joe, and of course, subscribe to the Palm Beach Post and support Joe and all the other writers there, like Al Habib, Tom D'Angelo. Great work. Those guys, I've known all those guys for many, many years, man. Many years. Well, Tom and Hal, I've been around those guys for well over 20 years. And Joe, pretty close to 20. It's pretty close. I want to say 15, 17 years. Something like that with Joe. Right now, 2% chance of rain in Chicago on Sunday. 16 mile-an-hour winds. See, that's another narrative that will disappear. All the narratives of Tua have disappeared, right? Deep ball, too short, noodle arm, doesn't work hard enough, isn't tough enough, this, that, whatever. All those things have disappeared. The next one now is coming. Well, the weather, this, that. And again, they fall in love and they think that every throw is 75 yards downfield. And it's not. The NFL game is played inside like a 35-yard box. Mahomes, everybody plays inside that box. Every once in a while, there's a guy that gets deep, and then there you go, and that's it. And it becomes a bomb. But people make it sound like every quarterback is throwing 70-yard bombs every other drive, when maybe they might be lucky to throw it once a month. Okay? And in inclement weather and all that kind of stuff, his arm is more than strong enough in that box to do all kinds of damage. So stop. And when you have anticipatory skills, you know how to adjust to all those kind of things. When you don't have anticipatory skills, Ryan Tannehill, you can't adjust to the weather at times. It affects you even more. But quarterbacks like Drew Brees and Brian and Bob Greasy and Joe Montana and Fran Tarkenton, along with Tua Tagovailoa, over the years, Fran Tarkenton lived in bad weather. And he played his whole life in bad weather. It's not... It's this misconception, and Fran Tarkenton wasn't throwing 70-yard bombs all the time. He would find Ahmad Rashad 5, 10, 15, 20 yards downfield, and Rashad would do the rest. Now, did he hit him on bombs sometimes? Of course. It's just that there's this thing, dude, and we just create walls after wall after wall because you don't want to believe that the guy can play. So now, I hope it rains in Chicago. I hope it's not 2%. I hope it's 60% of rain. So Tua goes out there with a wet ball, slices them up, just like OJ and Brentwood, and moves on, and then kills that narrative. And then we need the one in Buffalo, too, and kill that narrative. Because, he couldn't beat Buffalo before, and he did earlier in the season. It's just like one wall after another, because I don't believe, so I got to put this in front. And I don't believe because I got to put this in front. And I don't believe, and I got to, and then he just keeps knocking one down after another, after another, after another. It's amazing to me. It really is. All right, 2 hours down, one more to go. We're going to start it off, of course, actually a little more than an hour because we have Craig Mish at 1:15. What's it called? We are going to turn to fantasy football now. The great Scott Pianowski is ready to go with our sportsgrill.com fantasy football zone. Get the questions ready. Send them in to our Wilton Rayon text line at 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. 1056 on the Welt and Rayon text line. You can also send them in on the chat board now. They won't disappear. I'll be able to see them. And, of course, also on Twitter at Big O Show. You can send your questions there. We'll see them. We've got the Twitter feed up. So whether you're a weatherman playing fantasy or not, you can send in those questions. Guess who's next? Scott Pianowski, right here on the Big O Radio Show.
Wilton Rayon has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Wilton Rayon, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Wilton Rayon can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Wilton Rayon can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys? Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. PPR, Draft, Keeper, Dynasty. It's the Sports Grill Fantasy Football Zone with Yahoo Sports' Scott Pianowski. Keep up with your fantasy football teams by visiting any of the 8 great Sports Grill locations. Sports Grill, good food, good drink, good friends. Here's Scott Pianowski.
All right. There we go. It is time to talk a little fantasy football. Scott Pianowski, a proud man that loves his fantasy teams. And, of course, you can go watch all your fantasy teams at Sports Grill. They've got 7 amazing locations at Sports Grill. And remember, during the college and NFL games, they've got $1.50 Bud Light drafts and bottles. They've got new cocktails, $5. NCAA and NFL games, a cherry lemonade and the tailgate tea, $12 domestic pitchers. Bone-in wings are now 15% off. And you got to check out the buttermilk chicken sandwich. It is absolutely delicious. And remember, they're known for their hot sauces. You can now take home the buffalo sauce, the Miami Heat, the blackberry, the barbecue, the Dale. They got all those sauces there. You can take them home with you. And they've got the 8th location coming in Doral. We will tell you when that location is open. Now, you can follow this man, Scott Pianowski, on Twitter at Scott_Pianowski. If you're listening on the podcast, you want to send in your fantasy football questions, send them in right now on the Welt and Rayon text line, 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056 if you want to get in on the Welt and Rayon text line. Good afternoon to you, sir. Hope you're doing well.
I'm doing better after I have one of those buttermilk chicken sandwiches. It sounded great. Plus, I'm a huge condiment guy, so you were running through that list of Sports Grill items. I'm like, I got to get down to Florida, get to the Sports Grill, have some food, watch some football, drink a couple of beers. Sounds great.
When
to
you
me,
get
man.
down here one day, we'll take you to Sports Grill, and then and we'll get some of those sauces. You can take it home with you, and you'll douse your food at home, and you'll
love it.
You'll have that
Love it.
flavor.
A huge sauce and condiment guy. It's a huge part of my life.
Yeah, their sauces.
Although it's not what's not a big part of my life is week 9 with 6 teams off. Man, this is a very challenging fantasy week. Where maybe you're playing Josh Palmer, maybe you're playing Khalif Raymond. I mean, this is a week where you get to dust off guys, and you're playing players that weren't drafted.
So let me ask you. Let's start off locally with the Dolphins taking on the Bears. I love Raheem Mostert in this game, and how about the emergence of Mike Gesicki?
Yeah, I mean, he didn't play a ton of snaps last week because Smythe was back, but he's got some goal line equity. Tua is playing really well. The offense is playing really well. They have the two hardest. They have the best receiver duo in the league. I don't think there's any debate on that. I can't imagine even who's remotely close to it. Those guys are always open. I think Tyreek Hill right now is the number 1 receiver in fantasy, and he's done it with only 2 touchdowns. He's got some more touchdowns coming. But look at those game logs. Double-digit touches targets every week. Waddle is uncoverable, and they threaten every inch of the field. I think they put up a big number. I think the Chicago will fight back a little bit too. They got a good running game. Fields has been a fantasy starter for about a month now. They have 2 good running backs. I don't know when Claypool will play for them, but at least they went out and added a receiver they needed. So Chicago's not a bad team. I think this will be one of the more fun. Because look, let's face it, it's been an ugly season in the NFL in a lot of ways because quarterbacks we trust aren't playing well. But this is a game I'm really looking forward to. This will be on one of my main screens on Sunday.
There you go. So make sure you check it out. A little Dolphins and Bears. Send in your questions now on the YouTube chat board or on the Wilton Rayon text line at 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. Jay is asking, I traded Brandon Ayuk and Hollywood Brown for Jamar Chase. 12-team league. I should be in for the playoffs and made a move for the championship. Did I win or lose on the trade?
It comes down to how healthy Chase is. But because you don't need – I would never make a trade like this if I needed the games in front of me. Because you're already in the playoffs, then you're playing to win. You're playing – if Chase comes back healthy, you obviously win this trade. I think it's a good gamble. I'm not a doctor. I can't guarantee you Chase will be back to full health down the road. But I see why you did it, and I think it makes sense.
Jason Myers is asking, need to know Dylan versus Detroit or Khalil Herbert and Lockett or Kirk PPR.
Man, I know Herbert's not a starter. They got a little bit of a Zeke, Tony Pollard thing going in Chicago where Montgomery's the starter, and he's not a bad player, but Herbert's the more exciting player and the more efficient player. I think Herbert will have a role in this game. He'd be the first guy in that group I would play. And then as long as Lockett is cleared on Sunday, I mean, a very narrow passing tree in Seattle. And in a year where so many quarterbacks are playing poorly, Geno Smith plays well just about every week. And both of those teams play at a really quick pace, so there'll be more snaps in that game. I think the Seattle-Arizona game will have a lot of fantasy goodness for us. So Herbert's my first play. I would certainly play Lockett too if he's healthy.
On the Welt and Rayon text line, 855-912-1056, they're asking flex spot, Juju or Kyle Pitts?
I have to play Juju. The last couple of weeks, they've really gotten him going. Granted, Pitts got in the end zone last week, which it felt like a man landing on the moon, right? But Atlanta doesn't want to throw the ball, and Kansas City does. So I have to play Juju.
Okay. Next up, pick one, Jonathan Taylor or Deonta Foreman. Isn't Taylor out with an injury?
Yeah, he hasn't practiced Wednesday or Thursday. I'm not sure on Friday, but it sounds pretty bad with that high ankle sprain. In fact, Deion Jackson, his backup, should be rostered everywhere, and you may be playing him in week 9.
Plus, he has sucked anyway, so why would you play him over a guy that actually is being productive right now?
Yeah,
right?
even if Taylor got the start, I think Foreman's the play anyway. He got 3 touchdowns last week, over 100 yards, and Chuba Hubbard's already been ruled out, so it's
ruled
Foreman's
out
backfield.
exactly.
Yeah, Foreman is a guy, a good pickup by the listener, but if you have Taylor, even if you don't, I want you to pick up Deion Jackson. Even if you're not playing him this week, just make sure he doesn't get played against you. But Deonta Foreman has pushed his way into the circle of trust. And so has DJ Moore. Who thought, Big O, that we were all worried about DJ Moore? Oh, well, PJ Walker will save him. Well, Terry McLaurin's doing nothing. Well, Taylor Heineke will save him. Well, Alvin Kamara can't get in the end zone. Well, Andy Dalton will save him. That's the story of the 2022 fantasy season. We can't trust Rodgers and Wilson, and Brady's not playing well, and all these veteran quarterbacks. The Colts bench Matt Ryan, but Heineke and PJ Walker and Andy Dalton, they can save us.
Yep. No, I'm with you, man. I need a defense this weekend. Sage McKinley is asking Seattle, New Orleans, or Arizona.
Yeah, it's always go follow the point spread. The team that's favored by the most points. I think in that mix, it actually might be Arizona. I'm assuming you can't get your hands on maybe Minnesota. It's in a really bad year for fantasy defenses because there's too much parity in the league. But usually I just go by whichever team is favored the most in the point spread is usually the way I go with defense picks.
All right. Who should I start in fantasy this week? Eric in DC is asking, Allen or Tua?
I have to play Josh Allen. I mean, I love Tua. And there's look, most years when you have an Allen and Tua question, I say you're going to try to trade a quarterback, but nobody wants to trade for a quarterback. But this year, somebody might want to trade for a quarterback, and there's 6 teams not playing this week. Okay? And be okay with trading Allen. I would go to a team that needs a quarterback and say, I got 2 good quarterbacks. Which one do you like? And see which one they'll pay up for. Most years you can't do this. In 2022, I bet you can do it.
Okay. Let's see here. Should I continue holding on to Cortland Sutton? If not, how should I pivot?
At least Wilson played better in the London game. Now I realize he's throwing to Judy a lot, and Greg Dulcich has been really a find at tight end. He's had 3 really good games in a row. But Sutton's, in most leagues, Sutton's too good to cut, unless you absolutely, positively have to win this week. And the fact that the listener is thinking about cutting Sutton, it also underscores another thing. With 6 teams on bye, there's going to be good players cut in a lot of leagues because people are desperate and they don't have their full roster. So make sure you're auditing who's cut. I was talking to Jeff Erickson, my friend at RotoWire. He said he had to cut Dulcich in the league. He doesn't want to, but the way his roster shakes out and he needs this game, he's cutting Dulcich. I think he's a top 12 tight end. I would pick him up in a second if I could. So make sure you're auditing the drops. Sutton's a little bit too good to cut. I realize he's the most frustrating player because you don't trust starting him. You can't trade him, and you can't cut him. He kind of just gets in your way, but I think you need to give him another week.
Okay, on the Welt and Rayon text line, let's see here. Who do I start? Tony, Bandy, Carter, thanks.
Carter by default, but man, that is how deep we're going. I just don't know that Tony will get that much run first game with Kansas City. They have receivers who are playing well. And Bandy just won't get enough snaps. I mean, Carter, the Chargers, with probably Williams is out for sure, and it sounds like Keenan Allen's not going to play. Carter does have a handful of games with 3 catches. I think this week he might catch maybe 5 or 6 balls. You're hoping to get 50 yards out of that. Like when I mentioned Khalif Raymond earlier, he gets 70 yards, and you're hugging strangers. You know, that's what we're trying to do here. We're not trying to hit home runs here, Big O. We're trying to eke out a walk or maybe get hit by a pitch. We're leaning our elbow over the plate. That's what we're doing here on week 9.
I'm just tripping out on this question that I'm about to ask you because it tells you where we're at right now. Brady or Fields?
You know what? Justin Fields, he's running. They proactively. Did you see that touchdown?
I know that.
That's
Dallas? Why when you said Josh Allen, the Josh Allen, I went like this because Josh will add the running too.
I was wondering what that was. Yeah, okay. Well, you do it again for Justin Fields because he runs. We know Tom Brady doesn't. And man, Brady's 45. The whole Buccaneers. Is Leonard Fournette 45? Is Mike Evans 45? That whole offense looks old. Fournette looks terrible. And he's kind of lucky that Brady's taking all the heat for it. Now, I think the Buccaneers might be more fixable than the Rams, but I got to play Justin Fields because he's going to run for 50 yards, and he's probably got a 50-50 chance at a touchdown on the ground, and that's huge in fantasy if you have a quarterback who runs. As you said, do the finger walking because that's a huge part of fantasy. Quarterback is mobile.
All right. Remember, you can follow him on Twitter at Scott_Pianowski. You got a fantasy question, send it in here on the YouTube chat board. You can also send it in on Twitter at Big O Show. I've got the chat board up. And, of course, the best way, the fastest way I can see it cleanest is on the Welt and Rayon text line at 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. You should save it on your cell phone. That way you always have it there. You Big O chat, name it, whatever. And then that way you can go to it right away. You don't have to put in the number. So you should save it. You kind of touched on this earlier, and I want to ask about it because I have a 2-part question. With the injuries to Williams and Allen, you talked about Josh Palmer. So Palmer and Gerald Everett, what are where rankings wise? What do you look at Palmer like? Is he a flex guy? Gerald Everett this week, because of those injuries, how does he move up for tight ends if people have those options?
Yeah, great question. Palmer, I think last ranking I had him wide receiver 29, 30, something like that, where flex is kind of what it fits. Or if you're really screwed with injuries and buys, maybe he's a wide receiver too. But somebody you could play. I'm not dying to play him, but you may have to play him. I thought Everett was on the borderline of a weekly starter anyway, but with 6 tight ends off the board and Mark Andrews may not play Monday night, Isaiah likely, if you're really scraping at tight end, maybe a possible pivot on Monday. But I think Everett is somebody, anywhere I rostered him, I'd probably be starting him in week 9.
Would you rather Josh Reynolds? Is that the actor?
I'd rather Khalif Raymond. I think he's better than Reynolds, and he's been getting.
By the way, Khalif started off really hot in that game last week because he caught the ball on X-Man,
right?
On Xavier Howard, and it was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm going. This is the guy Scott was talking about.
You know, it's funny.
He did all right.
I live in the Metro Detroit area, and so Detroit's up 14 points. I had to go out and get some stuff, so I had to leave the house briefly, leave my glorious TV setup. And I see my neighbors. My next door neighbor watches the game in his garage with his wife, and the Lions are up 14 points. I said to him, how many points would the Lions have to be ahead before you'd feel comfortable? And his wife immediately goes 100. and I looked at the live betting when Miami was down 14 points. They were still only like plus 120 to win the game. They weren't even a good. I was like, I should bet Miami live because they're probably going to win. Maybe they're plus 200. No. They're basically like a coin flip down 14 points. That tells you all you need to know about the Detroit Lions. But I do like Khalif Raymond. Is he going to save your week? No. But he'll get like 50 or 60 or 70 yards. And that's, again, with this week, the way it is, how ugly it is with the injuries and the teams off, Khalif Raymond is somebody. I'd play him over Josh Reynolds. So Josh Reynolds is not an answer for me. I'd rather play Palmer over Reynolds. I'd probably even play DeAndre Carter over Reynolds. Reynolds is not somebody I'm looking at.
And after going like this, it looks like Goff's numbers are going like this now, right? They're on the decline now, right? So
yeah, Swift's hurt. They've traded Hawkinson. They were really fun for about a month. It hasn't been anywhere near as fun, in part because they played better defenses, right? We worried when they saw the schedule. Oh no, they have a Patriots game coming up. Belichick might eat their lunch. He did. Miami game coming up. Miami obviously they allowed some points, but Miami took care of them pretty easily. It felt like that game was never really in doubt. So the Lions have gone back to. I mean, they're entertaining. They got a lot of sound bites, but they're still like a team that's going to win 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, I know they're frugal, so they'll probably hang on to another year for Campbell, and then they're going to have to make them because I don't think this Campbell thing will ever work. To be quite honest with you,
well,
he's a super likable guy. I want to go have a beer with him and hang out, and he's probably a decent position coach, but he's not.
Now you guys know, obviously, he has time with Miami. It's like feeding false data into computer. The power of positive thinking. It has to be grounded in a little bit of truth. If you just, Big O, I could say, I'm going to win the U.S. Open, 5 years from now, I'm going to win the U.S. Open. I'm going to practice every day. I'm going to get the best coaching. I'm going to go to the putting green for 2 hours, the driving range for 3 hours. I'm not winning the U.S. Open. I'm not good enough. I'm not winning the U.S. Senior Open. I probably could win the town championship in my town. I have to know. You have to know who you are, and I think the Lions are getting the stark reality of what they are. They're a 3 or 4 win football team.
It's a shame. All right, Evan Ingram or Hurst on the Wilton Rayon text line 855-912-1056.
A couple of good ones. Peterson loves featuring the tight end, and Ingram. Jacksonville passing game has been ugly. Kirk's kind of fallen on hard times, but Ingram has been reliable in recent weeks. He scored a touchdown in that London game. I'd actually be fine playing either one of these guys, and they'll both be in my top 10. But I think Ingram has a little bit more upside.
Okay. Next up, we've got Rodgers or Dalton.
Ugly, isn't it?
I
think Dalton has more help. Dalton has Chris Olave, and Dalton has Alvin Kamara, who finally got in the end zone after not scoring 3 touchdowns last week. What is Aaron Jones? Aaron Jones is the only guy in Green Bay, right? I mean, Lazard's hurt. Sammy Watkins is ancient. That's always been their solution, right? Well, what are we going to do? Well, we'll get Sammy Watkins back. We'll get Randall Cobb back. That doesn't work. And Aaron Rodgers looks pissed off. He doesn't hide it. With the body language, it's just awful. I felt against
they never
Buffalo,
help him.
Yeah,
they
I
never
think
help
against
him.
Buffalo, they were just trying to keep the game close. I didn't think they were really trying to win. They were just, running the ball down 2 touchdowns. Let's not get embarrassed. Maybe we'll cover. I don't want any part of Aaron Rodgers, man. He's never been, in a full season, he's never been worse than quarterback 9. Right now, he's quarterback 18, and that's about how well he's played. And I realize he's got no help. But you know what? There's no help this week. It's not, Jordy Nelson's not walking through that door, although the Packers would probably sign him if he wanted to keep playing. They'd bring in Antonio Freeman if they could. They needed to trade for Chase Claypool or Brandon Cooks or one of these guys, and they didn't do it.
All right. On the Wilton Rayon text line again, Tony or Goodwin or Ertz or Everett?
Ertz for sure. Against a team that isn't marking the tight end very well. I'm going to play Goodwin, not with a ton of confidence because I don't know how healthy the receivers are in front of him, but I just don't think if Tony plays, I think it might be 10 or 12 snaps. I don't see him getting an extensive role. So you're really trying to thread a very thin needle there, but so I'll use Goodwin, and Ertz is in a great matchup. You have to play him.
Wow, I just saw this news. Diddy actually joined in with Musk on buying Twitter. He put $10 million in. Nice. Is Tony a worthwhile pickup? That's an interesting question because I'm a Tony fan. I think he's got some talent.
We're all glad to see him leave the Giants, who obviously didn't like him. I think he's going to be interesting next year. I think it's going to be a slow boot up. There's guys in front of him Juju's been playing well. I think Hardman had a big game a couple of weeks ago. I know Sky Moore hasn't done a lot, and I think the acquisition of Tony may be a condemnation of Sky Moore, but it's kind of a crowded usage tree. They use 3 running backs. Like everybody got excited a few weeks ago when Pacheco was going to get the start. Well, so what? I mean, he doesn't catch the ball, and McKinnon's going to play, and CEH is going to play. The stars of this offense are obviously Kelsey and Mahomes, but it's a crowded receiver room. If you have nothing else to do with that spot, I could add Tony. He's not a proactive add for me. I think it might take a while before he gets booted up. He is talented. I think I'll be drafting him next year. I'll be surprised if he does much this year.
Omar Lopez wants to know Gus Edwards or Herbert.
Right now, I got to say Herbert. The problem is Gus Edwards, we're not sure of his health status, and they play on Monday night. So it can be by Sunday, you may not have a clear picture of what's going on, although the Saturday practice for Baltimore may tell us more. I'm going to say Herbert right now. Unless Baltimore on Saturday says, you know what, Gus Edwards is totally healthy, he's off the injury report, then I could pivot to Edwards. But right now, I have to play the healthy guy. And Herbert's in really good form as well. I think he'll get 15 touches.
All right, let's go through these really quickly here. Frankie Moretti wants to know, is it okay to start Tua, Hill, and Waddle?
Yes.
All on the same.
It's so concentrated,
and
right?
He says, I have Jamal Williams. No, I'm sorry. All at the same time. That's another question. All at the same time. That's it.
I have no problem with it because it's such a constant. Only if the offense is as concentrated as Miami's is. They throw to 2 guys.
Okay. Next is what do I do with DeAndre Swift for the rest of the season? I have Jamal Williams. That's one.
Okay. Until Swift plays a full game, you can't start him. But Williams, at least, even when Swift plays, Williams is the goal line equity guy. So I'd keep playing Williams until Swift gives you a full game, and then you reevaluate.
Okay. Next one is, sorry, would you rather Josh Reynolds Scanting or Hollins in the flex this week?
Mac Hollins.
Josh Reynolds, Scantling, or Hollins in the flex this week?
Mac Hollins by default. I think I'd play Khalif Raymond over any of those guys, but Mac Hollins is actually one of the only things in the Raider passing game that hasn't disappointed us.
Okay. Half point PPR, Brian Robinson or Antonio Gibson?
Gibson, because he's got the pass roll. And they're both playable because McKissick's been phased out, but they're going to throw probably 3 to 6 passes to Gibson, and that's what you want.
Mickey is asking, would you consider starting Kadarius Toney over Romeo Dobbs? And I ask because I'm starting Aaron Jones, and I've never been a fan of starting multiple players on the same team. Full PPR.
Good question, and I agree. Normally, I wouldn't want to have those 2 Packers either because it's a mediocre offense. I'm just afraid Toney might play 9 snaps, so I think you might have to play Dobbs. Again, here's another case where you might be able to get one of those Charger guys. You might be able to get Khalif Raymond or somebody like that. I don't mean to make Khalif Raymond out like he's Calvin Johnson. He's not. It's just week 9. So if you don't want to play the Packer guys, I could play somebody on a different team. Again, look at the Charger guys. Maybe they can help you out. Maybe even flex a tight end, right? Maybe Hayden Hurst or somebody like that would work out, or likely if Andrews is scratched. But I'm just afraid Toney, I just don't see him. When these receivers change teams like Toney, Claypool, they might play 20 snaps, 11 snaps, 9 snaps. I mean, maybe they won't, but we have no idea. You have to see it first.
All right, Big D, we'll wrap it up. Bears Herbert or Palmer for flex?
I'm going to go Herbert. Good form, and I think he has 15 touches in his back pocket right now.
All right, tell them what's going on at Yahoo from now till Sunday as you get everybody ready for a big Sunday and getting ready for some playoffs down the line.
Yeah, we did bold predictions and my sleepers in Thursday. I'm going to do my NFL picks. I think we're 28 and 14, something like that. We're like 60% on the years. We're having a great year with the picks. Sunday, noontime, Fantasy Football Live. Andy Behrens and the crew will be doing the video stuff. I'll be on the Yahoo Fantasy handle answering start-sit questions all the way up until kickoff. And, of course, do follow me at Scott_Pianowski. It's a challenging week, man. This is a week where the fantasy skill comes out because you're not rolling out your best players probably because they're hurt or they're not playing this week. So the skill, the grinding, that's really going to pay off in week 9. I want you to get a win. Come join us on Sunday. We'll do everything we can to help you out.
There you go. Enjoy the fantasy football. And for all of you out here in South Florida, enjoy a little bone-in wings, 15% off there at Sports Grill.
Save me a chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
Just save me a chicken sandwich and a couple of cold beers. That's all I ask.
That's it. That's all he asks. And follow him on Twitter at Scott_Pianowski. Scotty, have a great weekend, and may the big wins be yours, my friend. Thanks,
Big O. It's always great talking to you. Be good.
You got it. There you go. The great Scott Pianowski. That's our Sports Grill Fantasy Football Zone.
You've been listening to the Sports Grill Fantasy Football Zone with Yahoo Sports' Scott Pianowski. Go to sportsgrill.com to find a great location near you. Fantasy football fans, subscribe to the Big O Radio Show on YouTube and all other platforms to catch up with all our fantasy football insight provided by Scott Pianowski and Andy Behrens.
Hey, folks, don't forget Hialeah Park is a proud sponsor of our program, and Larry Little's Hall of Famers night is set for Friday, December 2nd. Sean and I are going to be out there once again. We're out there every year covering this event. We'll have multiple cameras out there. We'll have different angles to it. We'll have a lot of Hall of Famers and big-time players joining us. Current and former players will be joining us out there at Hialeah Park. Next week, we're going to start to actually auction off. You can't buy tickets to this event. You can buy tickets to be a part of the golf tournament on Saturday with Larry Little and all the legends at 954-867-6511. But next week we're gonna auction off a table and seats so you guys can actually, it all goes for a good cause. It goes to a charity to help out a lot of kids get an opportunity at getting an education. So it's all for scholarships. And that's what the Larry Little's Legends weekend does. It helps a lot of kids go to, colleges and gets them some scholarship money that they desperately need. So it's for a great cause. We're going to talk about it next week. We're going to start to auction off a table. So it'll be your opportunity to be out there with us and all the great, players and former players that are going to be out there at Hialeah Park. It's a really, really cool event that you're going to want to be a part of. You're going to be able to take selfies and pictures with all kinds of stars, and you're going to go, wow, this is pretty cool. Usually we have them on with us all the time during, every year that we go, and we'll do the same thing. We'll have interviews with a whole bunch of the former greats with us. So we're going to have a great time. But if you want to be a part of the golf tournament and join in on the foursomes, 954-867-6511. That's 954-867-6511. So you can take part in that. Cap for Life, thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. He says, bro, I just entered a world where I saw Defoe and Mike Mayo doing cold cuts talk over at Shenanigans Sports Bar. I got to prioritize my life more. Shaking my head. Yeah, I know Defoe and Mayo has been living that life, doing all the food articles. That's a trip. All right, let's switch gears. Let's talk a little basketball, baby. Ira Winderman is ready to go, and our Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
There we go. Now we're ready to go. How you doing, Ira?
I'm doing good. I'm actually here in the media workroom in Indiana, and I'm actually going to start today's Acura Pembroke Pines report with a little bit of injury updates. Just got done with Heat shoot around. Bam Adebayo.
Wait a minute. Before you get to the real basketball matter, let's talk about the real story right now at the moment.
Okay.
Kyrie Irving. I gotta get it off. I gotta hear from you too. Yeah, this is really, really, really important. Obviously, he has apologized. It's still kind of a half-ass apology in a way.
Correct.
It's the 5 games. I think the league and the Nets took a little too long actually to act. I'm glad that they have acted finally. But listen, this is not after the fact, and Sean knows it. I've been talking about Hasidic Jews being attacked in Brooklyn, New York over the last year. It's a serious problem. And if you're not Jewish, you have no idea what anti-Semitism is. If you're not black, you have no idea what racism is. Asians in this country now are being attacked all the time since everything that's gone on with the coronavirus. The LGBT community, has always been treated unfairly. And we have all kinds of minorities or religions or people that are not treated fairly. And this is not just a Jewish thing. We have to learn that spreading hate on any level is not accepted, because when Kanye West went DEFCON 3 on Jewish people, we had 3 Nazi idiots standing above a highway trying to promote that, because there is going to be people who are going to hate blacks, who are going to hate people from the LGBT community, who are going to blame Asians who are here for a virus that they had nothing to do with, and this is why it's so important that we nip this right away. And it doesn't matter. This time it has to be about the Jewish community. But the next time, if it's LGBT, we must stand up for any kind of hate. This is not just a Jewish thing. I want people to understand that there's a lot of people that go through, just brutal situations in life on a day in and day out basis. But you're never going to know what anti-Semitism is unless you're really Jewish and you experience it all the damn time. So we've got to protect everyone in this case. And we've got to understand that spreading this kind of hate does not do any good. It fuels that hatred fire that I don't know why, but we've been doing this in this country the last couple of years.
I agree with your premise, but I would disagree with this. If you have been victimized or have been involved with or have to deal with anti-Semitism, you should appreciate racism. You should appreciate misogyny. You should appreciate it across the board. And that's what is the most troubling aspect of this Kyrie Irving thing. To say, I appreciate X, Y, but not Z, and not to address that. That's the thing to me. I understand Kyrie Irving has indigenous American blood in him from his family and his ancestry. What we have done to indigenous people in this country and throughout the world, as Patty Mills has talked about the Aborigines in Australia, is reprehensible. But we can be at a higher level and appreciate going forward we should be better. Or we can be idiots and bring out things that no one needs to see, no one needs to read. Look, Big O, we're at a time now in our society, people are burning books that should not be burned because they have alternative viewpoints. On the other hand, there is such garbage out there that now can be promoted through social media, of which it's not a cost at all. You just put it on your Twitter, you put it on your Instagram, you put it on your TikTok, then all of a sudden, eyes that never would have seen this material now can look at it. And you know what? Most of us are civilized, intelligent, and smart. But even if 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 10,000 takes it to heart and takes it seriously, that's the problem. And when you have social media followership in the millions, and you are therefore basically instigating, inciting hundreds, if not thousands of people, that's where it's wrong. And I got to tell you, it was very interesting. I was connecting from my flight here to Indianapolis through LaGuardia yesterday, and I ran into Nick Friedel, who covers the Nets for ESPN.
Yeah, the exchange.
He was headed for Washington. We know he had the exchange with Kyrie Irving when Kyrie would not answer the questions. And he even said to me, he goes, I think something's going to happen when I'm on the plane. And as I walked to the waiting lounge for my flight to Indianapolis, number one, the Nets announced their 5-game minimum suspension, and then Kyrie offered his apology. Number one, the suspension came way the hell too late. Bad is bad and should be recognized right away. It shouldn't take you a week to go, wow, this really is awful. Number one on the Nets part. Number two, you know this, Big O, because you've been around. What are the odds that Kyrie Irving wrote that statement? What are the odds that his full PR staff and management staff did not go over it? Because Kyrie has shown last year with the whole vaccine thing, he doesn't care if he misses checks. He's beyond that. He's above it. But his agents make the money. But the people who support him need the money. And all of a sudden that came out. So I would say this. I really like Sean Marks when he was with the Heat. I think he is a very good person. I think he has handled this terribly. I do not believe a word that comes in the printed form from Kyrie Irving. I need him in front of a camera, which we now won't see for 2 weeks with the suspension. You can see contrition on someone's face. And I brought this up, Big O, and I hate to be long-winded here as usual. When this happened to Myers Leonard in March of 2021, he was immediately contrite. He felt awful. He worked in the Jewish community more than anyone I've known. As a matter of fact, when I spoke to Eric Spoelstra here at Shoot Around today, I even told him, I said, Spo, as Jewish as I am, I think Myers Leonard might have been more Jewish over the last 18 months than me. He has spent time in different parts of the Jewish community than even I have. And that's the difference. We all make mistakes. Big O, in your 92 years of radio, I am sure there were times you said the wrong thing. And immediately, whether it's your wife or your station manager or someone, and you came back the next day and going, look, people, that's not what I meant. I either didn't know that was a slur, I didn't understand the context of the video I just displayed, and you move forward. Something this egregious should not have run a 2-week course, but it did. And that tells me something about, number one, Kyrie Irving. Number two, the Brooklyn Nets. Number three, the NBA. And I have one more for you to marinate with, and I know this is toward the end of your show today, but we can pick it up Monday in our Acura Pembroke Pines report. Kyrie Irving is still listed as a vice president of the National Basketball Players Association. Can you tell me, Orlando Alzagari, that the majority of players in the NBA want him as a vice president representing him? Let's say you belong to some sort of fraternity, some sort of Hispanic journalist group, something like that. And you had someone like that who did this and was vice president of your organization. They wouldn't be vice president of your organization much longer. I'd like to hear more from NBA players. Is this a man, a person you want representing you?
Yeah, no, I would imagine that the answer to that is no, that nobody wants that guy representing you, because I don't think most guys have his points of view, and the ignorance that he has shown through all of this, that's to me, that's even been more insulting to the Jewish community. That not only did you post it, but then the ignorance that follows after it. And now, and now this apology, it was forced, it's not real.
But Big O, there are idiots out there in every walk of everything, and that's fine. Here's the difference. When Kanye made a statement, boom, his shoe deal was over. His clothing endorsements were over. His academy wound up being shut down. It was done. So Kyrie's Kyrie, and he's always been out there. So maybe we can just say he's out there. But the Nets are an organization worth billions. The NBA is an organization worth tens of billions. The NBA Players Association is an organization of millionaires. Where was the call from those groups? Where was the disavowalment from those groups that it festered instead? I'm very disappointed in Adam Silver. I think he, and I'll stand by him, has been the best commissioner of the major professional sports league. He is not a Roger Goodell. He cares. He's different. He's not just about the bottom line like Manfred is in baseball. But in this case, you have the organization. So again, Kyrie is a nitwit. Okay, I agree. But all these organizations, where has the disavowalment been? And it's been a long time coming.
By the way, this is the same guy that retweeted an Alex Jones tweet too. So
all part of it. And again,
this is why he can't be taken serious at anything, and why
but he has the social media network of millions. He has hundreds and thousands of times more followers than you do and I do. So all the people with common sense have this kind of reach. Sorry if you're listening on the podcast, but someone like Kyrie has this kind of reach, and that's the difference. So his misinformation gets out a lot easier than the corrective information of journalists, people like you, people like me.
Yeah, but then again, the league is in bed with China, and You know.
Oh yeah, it's business. Yeah, it's still business. Don't kid
It's
yourself one
money.
thing about it. But I
Right.
expect better from good people like Adam Silver, from Sean Marks, like Chris Paul, rather like CJ McCollum, the president of the Players Association. I expect better from them because I know they're good people.
All right, now let's get to the play stuff. Let's
Sports.
step
Let's
into
get
the
to sports.
playroom. Let's step into the playroom now.
So went to shoot around today.
Injuries.
Bam Adebayo was listed as questionable with the knee bruise. He was great. He just said, Ira, I'm not going to let bone to bone, knee to knee stop me. I'm going to be out there. He goes, when have you seen me not play? And it was interesting because there was honesty and candor from Eric Spoelstra. They're listing Jimmy Butler out as hip soreness. But Spo said he just needs the time. He needs the management. And you know what? You and I have spoken on our Acura Pembroke Pines reports about this. You got to be careful with Jimmy. You got to be careful with Kyle. When you're in your mid to late 30s, you need them for May and hopefully for June. So I think this is prudence. Again, like I said on Wednesday with our redrecover.com Inside the Paint report, with Jimmy being held out in that game or going into that game, it's just a matter of you got to look at the opponent. You probably can beat the Kings without Jimmy. You barely did, but you did. And the thought is the Pacers, who are still looking a little bit at the lottery right now. Miles Turner coming back from an injury. You probably still could be able to pull this out with Hero, with Adebayo, with Lowry. So you pick your spots. I think that's what they're doing right now with Jimmy Butler.
By the way, I got to say, I got to see a ton more, but I like the Lowry I saw the other night.
Yes. And again, but here's the problem, and I wrote about this at the Sun Sentinel today. Kyle only seems to feel like he needs to step up when someone else isn't there. So look at the last two games. Kyle's been very good. Tyler Hero did not play the second half of the game against the Warriors when he was injured in that game, took the shot into the eye. Kyle Lowry activated in the second half. Jimmy Butler was out against the Kings. Kyle Lowry activated the whole game. What he'd need to find a way is in this new lineup with Adebayo, with Hero, with Martin, with Butler and Lowry, for Lowry to find his way without deferring. $28 million players, I hate to always raise the money, but $28 million players shouldn't defer. They should be leading men. So I think that's something that they have to work on. I'm still not sold on this lineup right now.
Well, hypnotize him before the game and tell
him someone's out.
Jimmy
You do
Butler
not see Jimmy.
is out of
Right.
the game.
Right.
Bam Adebayo will not be on the court. You'll be passing to somebody that looks like him.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then
you got to make this lineup work better. I can't have Kyle taking this many days off like he has to this point. I agree.
Yeah, no, but I like that. And listen, down the stretch, it was a cool way to end. Strus had a big three. Tyler had the monster shot. Bam had some really nice passes and a drive. Lowry, it was a nice finish to that game. I get it. You eked out a win, whatever. I don't expect you to be a dominant team without Jimmy Butler. You know what I mean?
No, and just like the Dolphins, and the last play against the Lions wasn't called PI, so you take it and you move on, you get the W. Because you know what? At the end of the day, maybe good things happen to good teams. So maybe you always look back when your team was down, whether it was the Dolphins, whether it was the Heat, whether it's whether it was the Panthers, and you say to yourself, you know what? They'll get the respect. Look what Mike Brown said after the game. I know that's a travel, but we're the Kings and we wear the word Kings across our chests and we don't get the breaks. You know what, Big O? It's true. When you are a winning organization that are viewed as winners, that good things will happen to you. It's turning for the Dolphins right now and it's turned for the Heat in recent years.
Yeah, no, I listen. In the end, I know that this won't be the finished product. Eric will figure it out. He'll get him to play harder. He'll get now. The question is, what we saw from Tyler the other night. Who's the guy that's going to step up and be that star every night next to Jimmy? Because I think that's what's really needed. It's not of, hey, let's stand around. No, Kyle, it's your turn tonight. No, Bam, it's your turn tonight. No, Tyler, it's your turn tonight. Oh, Strus, it's your turn tonight. I think that's where it gets dangerous for Miami. I really believe whether it's Tyler or somebody else, but somebody's got to step up.
And that's why this lineup doesn't work, Big O, because Bam wants to step up and get his 18 shots a game, and Tyler wants to get his 34 points a game. And there's only so much to go around. This team would be so much better if Max Strus started and Tyler Hero came off the bench as the sixth man. All of a sudden, you have balance. All of a sudden, we have no idea when Victor Oladipo is going to be back. So all of a sudden, you have no shot creation on that second unit, and you have to work through it. Look at the last game and a half when Max Strus was with the starters, how much better this team looked. That's the difference. You get the shooting in there. You get that element. It even helped elevate Duncan Robinson. in that role also, not playing as much with Max Strus. So I know you want your best players to be out there. I know you don't give a guy 4 years, 130 max if he gets his incentives like Tyler Hero. But for the greater good, I think right now, if Tyler was sixth man, you'd have a better rotation, if not necessarily, like Tyler would think, a better starting lineup.
All right, so I'll ask you something that I'm pretty sure is unfair to you because it's a little early in the process for us to get to that. But not the expiring, but the deals that people will buy out towards the deadline. Who are there any of those kind of candidates already popping up that could be a buyout towards the deadline?
Well, Jay Crowder's been sitting there the whole season, and the Suns are so good and they don't need him that his name will be out there. Big O, I'm going to turn your question around a little and wrap this all up to what we started today's Acura Pembroke Pines report with. If the Brooklyn Nets keep going in the crapper like this, the Kevin Durant stuff is going to start all over again. Okay. Then you're going to look at the way they extended Tyler Hero and made him untradeable. And if they didn't, they might have had a deal to put into play. But I'm telling you, the beauty of it, whether it's you and me Monday and Fridays on the Acura Pembroke Pines report, Wednesday on our redrecover.com with Kurt Heelan Inside the Paint, you are going to see Kevin Durant rumors start with every additional Brooklyn Nets loss. Because if he wasn't happy there before, and now that he's got Kyrie going off the deep end, what else is there for him? And you know what we've learned? Ben Simmons ain't no savior. Him coming through that door hasn't changed a damn thing in Brooklyn.
Wow. Damn, I was asking for a buyout guy, and you went Kyle Schwarber bat-flipping home run on my ass here.
F yeah.
Wow, that was good. All right, what else you working on the Sunset will get us ready for the Pacers?
Couple of things. I just posted a notebook. Tyler Hero don't want to hear about his call being a travel. He says, I scored. The game is over. You can read your officiating reports. Wrote a story early today.
Jordan, Jesus Christ.
Whatever. He's just going to do it. Wrote a story early today. The Heat are making zone defense work because they really have to, because they do have a bunch of negative defenders on their roster and they have to work around that. And they did it, my Ask Ira today on Dwayne Dedman. And you know what? As awkward as he might be at times, Big O, you need that muscle in there. Sometimes you just need the big muscle to pull out them guns and give you 14, 15 minutes. Dwayne, after he got those 2 days of rest, has been very good in the last 2 games. I think that's been helpful as well.
Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat. And more importantly, subscribe to the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Support Ira and all the excellent writers there at the paper. Ira, as always, thank you, my friend. We will catch up next week.
Monday with more Kevin Durant rumors. Thank you, Big O.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Damn. He went bat flipping Kyle Schwarber on my ass. By the way, that bat flip was all right. Yeah, they're making a little too much out of that bat flip. It didn't have enough style. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Now, Ira Winderman, he's got style. That's your Acura Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA report.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig's Inn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
All right. Tua's magical fourth quarter performance at Baltimore in week 2 has been recognized by the Hall of Fame. Ira is a sponsor's dream. These plugs for Acura Pembroke Pines and Red Recover are pure class. So, we got to tell you what we do, right? Thanks, fear enough. I don't know what that means. Does Adam Silver care about the Igers? What is that? I have no idea what that is, Fulgencio. What is the Igers or whatever? I don't know what that is, my brother. I'm sorry. Got to plead ignorance there. Not sure what you're talking about. Let's see. I guarantee you Ira will not mention that because the reports of the NBA will not risk it. What are you talking about? We did talk about NBA in China. We did talk about that. Turkey. Caring about Turkey. Is that what he meant? Is that what he's talking about? I have no idea. You guys got to be more specific with me on what the hell you're asking me, because then I'm like guessing. And by the way, off of that Kyrie stuff, okay, his his apology doesn't mean anything because his apology is completely fake. And Kyrie needs to be crushed just like anybody that is spewing any kind of hate towards any other kind of race or religion or sexual orientation or anything like that. It's the kind of stuff that we can't have, because if you have somebody that is spewing hate against blacks, then you're going to open the door up for those racist assholes. Just like if you're not Jewish, you have no idea what anti-Semitism is, and you don't face it every day like they do. Just like I don't know what it's like to be black. And while I'm Hispanic and I've faced some racism, nothing like the Jews, nothing like the blacks, nothing like the LGBT community, nothing like what Asians are going through now. I've never experienced anything like it, so I don't know. But hearing it from my friends who are black or Jewish, you kind of get the feeling of what goes on, and it's terrible, man. And that's why you have to crush anyone that is spewing hate of any kind. And the part that the NBA was weak at was, you look at Leonard Myers, and they eliminated his ass right away. And that's what you should have done to Kyrie. But because Kyrie's a great player, because he has great talent, you tolerate it even more. And that's the problem we have in our society. We allow the privileged or the more gifted to get away with things that you and I, if we're not as gifted or as rich, we can't get away with. And that's exactly what happened with the Kyrie situation. It's just, it's wrong on every level. By the way, the Anti-Defamation League did not accept his $500,000 donation. Why? Because it was a fake donation. Because it's what rich people do. That happened. That's a rich person thing. White, black, green, yellow, Latin, Anglo, Asian, Hispanic, whatever, rich person. That's a rich person thing that they do in general. Just throw money at it. That's my apology. Because the money's nothing to them. But to have to put their face behind an apology and show true contrition, boy, that's work. That's not easy for them. That's not acceptable for them. They don't want to do that. No. Can't do that. I can't show that I'm wrong and show contrition and show that I'm sorry. Can't do that. So we have to defend everyone. Okay? Not just because it's your community. No, everyone. Right? We are one, whether you want to believe it or not. I'd love for all of us to think that way. We're all related. We're all connected one way or another, man. So there you go. Just let's have a little more understanding for each other. Let's have a little more support. By the way, the Durant decision, oh my God. That Kevin Durant decision to leave Golden State for the Nets. You've had to play with Harden, now Ben Simmons, now Kyrie Irving. I mean, one head case after another. You left Golden State for your ego. You were the best player on those championship teams, but you still felt it was Steph's team. Why? Because your ego? Who gives a shit, dude? You should have stayed there. You guys should have stayed there and won a whole bunch of other championships and go down like one of the nastiest teams in the history of time. So we could talk about you like we talk about the Lakers of the 80s and the Celtics of the 60s or the Spurs of the 2000s. Seriously, dude, you left Golden State for this crap to play with that piece of shit, Kyrie Irving. I mean, Your judge of character, Kevin Durant, is absolutely terrible. Wow. Really amazing. And you're not at least lucky like LeBron that you get the 2 championships in Miami, but you get the break in Cleveland with the suspension to the Warriors, and then you get the break in the bubble with Bam and Goran getting injured. You know, it's not so much that LeBron's been so phenomenal. He's also gotten phenomenal breaks to get those 2 titles away from Miami. But you could have had a few more championships with the Golden State Warriors if you just stayed there. But you had to listen to idiots that, because you went there and made it easy. No, you didn't. You actually put more pressure on yourself. And then now you go to Brooklyn and you put all the pressure on yourself without the talent that you need in order to win, which that's the part you left out, Kevin. You're not the only guy that can win a title. You can't win it by yourself, dude. You need a team. You had one in Golden State, you idiot. That decision by Kevin Durant, wow. What a first-class moron. That is one enormous dumbass. You're like, I don't know, that's like leaving Halle Berry for Mama June. Like, what are you doing? And why do you listen to people? You played great, dude. You were awesome at Golden State. You were the man. Stay there. It might have become your team after time. Did anybody ever think of that? If Kevin Durant stayed at Golden State and continued to ball out and be the best player on the team like he was in those 2 championships, people would then say, well, Steph Curry would have ended up getting all the hate. That's what would have happened. Eventually would have said, no, dude, Kevin Durant's a badass, bro. Yeah, those guys are good, but man, he's the star every time. He was awesome. He had no reason to leave Golden State. You had the championships, you had the teammates, you had good people around you. You had a great ownership group that spends money. They don't care about paying a tax. Mickey. They don't care about it. They are going all out. Hint, hint. Anyway, so, why would you leave that? Stupid. Plain, just stupidity by Kevin Durant. What a shame. Panthers, by the way, nice win yesterday. A shootout against the Sharks, 4-3, 6-4-1. Barkov, Verhaeghe, and Gudis with the goals. Bob had 36 saves. Tomorrow, they will take on the Kings at 10:30. I guess I'll watch it when I get home after I'm done with the postgame show. I guess we'll be able to. What do you think, Sean? Maybe, no, not you, but I might be able to watch the third period. By the time you take down the equipment and get home, yeah, I think the game will be over for you. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately. And then we got game 6 tonight as the Astros took a 3-2 lead. You almost feel like the window closed on Philly, right, with that no-hitter? Like they had to win there and go 3-1, and then that way they had 3 more games to just win 1. Now you've got to win 2, and 2 of the 4 are in Houston. And last night, Houston won 1 to take a 3-2 lead, and now there's 2 left. One of them is in Houston, and you're the Phillies. You've now got to win both games that are left. That's rough, dude. That's rough. So it looks like the Astros have it. Zach Wheeler and Framber Valdez toe the slab tonight at 8:03 on Fox. Philly, by the way, went 8-0 with their win last night against Houston, 29-17. There was some hope early on, right? 14-14, you're like, yo, what's going on here? Can they hang in there? But you knew it was a start. Eventually, they would become what they are, So, let's see. As of 2020, it was estimated that Chinese authorities may have detained up to 1.8 million people, mostly Uyghurs, but also including Kazakhs and other ethnics, Turks, Muslims, Yeah. What do you want me to tell you, my brother? You know, the NBA has a very close relationship with China. It's all about money. And, you know, you got people here playing in the Live Golf Tournament. They're selling out for money. Is there anything new? None. Let's see what else. Fastway, Big O, we've become one. I don't know what that means. Are you talking about like Fastway, like the old band with Pete Way and Fast Eddie Clark? Is that what you're talking about? Say what you will, and you will. Yes, we know. Yes, Irving's comments are definitely unacceptable. He should be banned from the NBA. Tony Zagales, KD leaving Golden State was bad for KD, but good for the Warriors who have been able to reload. Yeah. No, I mean, forget the Warriors. The Warriors are fine. It's all about Durant being an idiot more than anything else. Oh, yesterday on, let me do this. Let me take a quick break. Let's get hour number 4 started. Craig Mish will join us at 1:15. I got a funny, not funny, but kind of a silly Dolphin story that fans end up going into a direction that they don't need to go to. That's next, right here to start hour number 4 of the Big O Radio Show.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Slomin Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Slomin Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Slomin Shield.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Wilton Rayon has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Wilton Rayon, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Wilton Rayon can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Wilton Rayon can help. Call 954-966-4646. When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys? Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Hi, we're back. We're ready to rock and roll. And guess what? We're also ready to step in to the batter's box, the Wilton Rayon batter's box with the one and only Craig Mish.
Time to step in the batter's box with one of the best insiders covering Major League Baseball and the Miami Marlins, Craig Mish. The Batter's Box is brought to you by Wilton Rayon Attorneys at Law. Personal injury, bankruptcy, or criminal defense. Call for a free consultation. 954-966-4646 or go online at WRFLAlaw.com. Here's insider Craig Mish.
Myth, the legend, that is Craig Mish. How you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
I'm doing well. Looking forward to the weekend. Thanks for having me. Hope you're well.
Oh, I'm well. Bitcoin is hitting 21,000. I'm good, bro.
I liked it better at 50.
Yeah, it will. It'll get back there. I'm not worried about that. It'll get all back there, man. You just got to be patient. You got to hang in there, buy low, hodl, and wait, and it'll all come back.
I don't know. Part of me wishes I would have sold it. I got to be honest.
Huh? No, don't. I hope you bought more now when it's low. You.
I really haven't. I did well with it. Thought I did really well with it, and then and then went down.
It's because it's a little ahead of its time. Now it will. You saw Fidelity yesterday. Fidelity is opening up their own crypto exchange, and they're not going to charge anything for you to buy crypto on their exchange.
We can have a lot of conversations about this.
Mass adoption is coming. And when it does, those of us that got in early, we're going to enjoy. That's all.
I got in really early, but again, it's like it was 50, man.
I know. No, it was 60. It was 60. It got to like 61, I think it was, or 64.
Well, we'll see.
So it'll get back there. It's going to surpass that, dude. It'll go to $250,000. But it's
Well, if it does, that'll be a good day.
That'll be that. It will. It will. It's just one of those things that we're setting our kids up. Is what we're doing, bro. It's what we're doing. All right. First of all,
right over here.
Did Lance McCullers tip his pitches? By the way, are you part of that?
Maybe
the leg can't give it away to you.
I mean, everybody had it. The problem is that everybody had a different opinion of how he was tipping the pitches, which makes me think he was not tipping the pitches. But it's like Pedro Martinez is the one that I would trust with that sort of stuff. He said he was. And it was based on, where he was holding the ball. But does it really matter, I guess, at this point, Orlando? I mean, they're a game up. They got 2 games to go. If it has to go to a game 7, they'd be nuts to start him. And, it's probably much ado about nothing at this point. Because Christian Javier was unbelievable the other night, and he probably could go 3-4 innings if they need, maybe even more on Sunday. So, if you look, Philly, they've had a great season. They definitely could win the next game. They definitely could win the World Series. Everybody seems to be such a prisoner of the moment in this series. One team wins a game, they think that team's going to win the World Series. This team wins a game, they think that team's going to win the World Series. I mean, there's a good chance this goes to 7 games. I don't think anybody has the advantage right now. I mean, obviously Houston up a game does, but anything can happen. It's been back and forth.
By the way, somebody wrote an article about Randy Johnson. It's like, he used to tip his pitches all the time, but he still got people out all the damn time too. By the way, where do you rate Kyle Schwarber's bat flip? Because I thought it was a little overrated, to be quite honest with you.
It was fine. It was fine. I listened when I came on last week. I said the same thing. I'm going to say the same thing again. The Phillies are built to have games where they're unbeatable for a game or two because they're going to hit 4 or 5 home runs. This is going to happen again, either game 6 or game 7. It's probably going to happen again. But it
looked like that no-hitter. But that no-hitter looked like it took a little wind out of their sails, bro. It kind of.
I don't know that it did. I don't know that it did. It's they when they get hot, the whole team gets hot and they win, and then they don't. And so they're probably still due for another game like that before it's all said and done. It's just to do it consistently against good pitching is impossible. So that's sort of why they're up against it here, is because to beat Houston 2 games in a row now in their park is really tough to do. I mean, that's going to be really tough to do.
Yeah. No,
the Marlins did it somehow. I don't know. Don't ask me how.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that it just, you got to have things go your way. And right now that to me, that no-hitter kind of like, just kind of made everything go that side to the Astros. And I'll follow up with this. How much does that organization kind of need this title to erase the funk from the other title?
I don't know. I think they've gotten far enough and have been down this road far enough to.
You're thinking like yourself, a baseball lover. Put yourself.
I haven't heard a lot of that, Orlando, in this series.
Public.
I have not heard a lot of it.
But it's kind of there still with the general public, the whole cheating stuff and all that. They're kind of viewed that way. So in a way,
I don't know.
A lot of those guys are gone.
Exactly.
You go out and win. It's kind of like, okay, see, it wasn't about cheating. It was about a great organization. You know what I'm saying? It kind of helps.
So winning one more game will do that as opposed to where they're at. I think they've proven it already.
You're right. But I'm talking about optics. That's all I'm talking about. I'm not really talking about the reality. Of course, they've already proven it, dude. I mean, they've proven that they've been a good franchise year in and year out. It's just, I think it's pretty cool to go through it now without that shadow over you. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe. Listen, for some people, I suppose that is the case. But anybody who follows the game just, mildly understands that this is a completely different team than that team with few exceptions. They just keep replacing players. George Springer, Carlos Correa, 2 of the top 20 players in Major League Baseball. Neither of them are on the team. Like, I mean, do I need to say anything else about this? Like, I mean, they just keep replacing guys.
Yeah, they're good, man. They're good. They just know their stuff. See, I got damn cheaters. It's like it's on the chat board. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm telling you optics. That's why I mentioned it. All right, let's move over to the Marlins. I want to get excited, but I can't get excited. I almost feel like Bill Murray in Groundhog Day. You know what I'm saying? Until you show me, what you're doing in finding talent, developing it, keeping it. Does it matter who the manager is? You know what I'm saying? It's just.
I think it matters. I think here's why it matters. It matters because I think that he's going to be entertaining. I think that he'll probably get thrown out of games a lot. It's just my feeling alone. I think that he'll give great post games, good pre games. As far as the play on the field, I think he'll probably hold guys a little bit more accountable than Donnie. I could see that. As far as wins and losses, I mean, I'm not going to be the one to tell you they're going to win 20 more games because of Skip Schumacher, so I can't argue that point. But I guess in a season next year that I'm not sure what it's going to look like, whether they win 80 or win 60, at least you know that you're going to get some entertainment from that. That's nothing against Donnie, who I love, but Donnie is just like that.
Yeah.
You know, Skip's going to be that. Whoa, you know. So I kind of, I guess we could use a little of that, I guess, but you know,
Yeah, we haven't had
Campbell
that.
didn't win a lot here either. You know,
We haven't had that since maybe Leland.
McKeon.
Who was a fiery manager?
Ian.
Because Bowles wasn't fiery.
Jack McKeon.
Yeah, McKeon. Well, McKeon was funny.
Yes.
He was kind of a character.
He was great.
Yeah. He was the other guy that had
Ozzie
Girardi.
Guillen?
Huh?
Ozzie Guillen?
Oh God. How long was that? How short-lived was that thing? I forgot how short. It got to a whole year?
I think so.
I don't know why I was thinking it was only months. You know that?
I think it was a year.
But he would have been fiery.
He was.
He would have been. Yeah. No, but I mean, he was here long enough to really unfortunately. But yeah, he would have been fiery. Yeah. I mean, it's good to have some fun, but we still got to, God. That's what I feel bad about. Feel bad for some of these managers that they're not going to have everything that they need to succeed. And I know Bruce Sherman was kind of talking about, well, if we're close, we're going to spend some, that kind of stuff. We tried last year and all that, but I don't know, man. I want hope, man. That's all I want to just give me a little hope, Craig. That's all I want.
There's a few interesting things from yesterday.
Give it to me.
So, things that I haven't mentioned yet. So one of them was exactly what you're saying was, and I won't call names out because that's not the right thing to do. But I feel like the one positive thing with me, me, I'm humble. I don't ever come on here and say I'm this or I'm that or whatever. But I think that most people recognize at this point that I'm sort of the go-to. I think that's fair on the Marlins.
For sure.
I think that's fair. So at the end, the reporters that are there, the ones you see on TV, like myself, I'm on TV every day too, but the local people, and I'm not going to get into like who was there, whatever, so they sort of come up to me at the end. They're like, what do you think here? What do like all of a sudden the Marlins going to be good? Can this happen? Whatever. I'm like, listen, you have a Major League Baseball team to cover in South Florida. Let's just be, for now, let's be happy with that. Let's leave it. I can't promise anything else. So like you, that's sort of the sentiment is we want to be optimistic. We want to be hopeful. I do think they have some direction, but to promise anything would be very foolish at this point. And that press conference is over. And now it's like the Marlins won the month of November. Congrats. You didn't play a game, now all of a sudden you got to make moves. And then the second part of what I thought was interesting, Orlando, no one mentioned this yesterday, but this was by far, to me, the most interesting thing after the press conference was Kim Ng did a media thing, right? And she said very specifically, she has said several times that she thought that the club last year was better than the record indicated because of injuries and unluckiness and some other things. And she said yesterday that she knew that some people have been giving pushback on that, which told me she's been on social media a little bit and watching some of the things that people are saying. It was very subtle. She also doubled down and saying she still believes that. But I thought that was important because it means that the organization is sort of paying a little attention as to how other people perceive some of the comments that are being made. Very small piece of information there. But to me, that says something. They're on Twitter, they're on Facebook, they're on Instagram. They're seeing what people are saying about the organization and at a very high level. Again, I thought that was interesting, that takeaway for me.
I would just love to see an organization that would actually try to commit to actual winning. And, you cry over there in baseball. They always go, oh, well, our crowds, this, that. Man, this is South Florida. You want a crowd? You got to earn it, bro. You got to earn it.
I want to ask you an honest question. I thought about this yesterday. Call me crazy, but I want to just put it out there, and maybe you'll say definitely not, but I want you to think about it and then tell me, maybe in the future. If the Marlins built the stadium, Orlando, in Boca Raton, would they get more fans every day?
No.
Honest question.
No,
They would not.
It does not matter where you put a stadium or arena in South Florida. Does not matter. You sold out the Miami Arena for hockey because your team was good. Then you took it to Broward saying, oh, all our fans are in Broward and Palm Beach. Great. Nobody went. Why? Because your team sucked for 20 years. So now you finally got owners that are committed, and now you're starting to see the place get full again. The Orange Bowl was jam-packed for Dolphins and for Canes games when they were good. But then you have your empty seats at times for the Canes and some for the Dolphins. They still sell pretty well. But overall, it's because you weren't as good. The Marlins, the first couple of years, you sold out well because it was the expansion stuff. And leading into the playoffs, if you remember during those playoff years, the Marlins happen to own attendance records in Major League Baseball when it comes to playoffs and World Series attendance. Why? Because you were in a baseball stadium. The Rockies and the Marlins have some of those records. Why? Because they were playing in football stadiums. And we have proven that we will go, but it's up to you to win and entertain. If you don't win and entertain, we're not going to go anywhere. You can put it in Homestead, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach. It doesn't matter. To me, that's the misconception. Look at the soccer team. You're not that good, so you're not filling it up. When Ray Hudson and his team were going to the conference finals, we were up to 14,000 in that stadium. The place was getting packed. That was packed for Lockhart. Well, you'll see if Inter Miami is good, they'll pack it in Fort Lauderdale or they'll pack it down in Miami when they go. I don't believe the arena or the stadium matters where it's at.
No, it's not a matter of matters. I just was curious just on that specific thing, like where people just don't care as much about wins and losses and just more about going out and having a good time. I'm not saying that
we're not a public transportation town, and we know it. So if you want to go to the beach and you live out west, you got to drive 45 minutes to get there, whether you like it or not. You got to go to work in Dade or Broward. You got to commute. Since we're not a public transportation, it has nothing to do with where it's at. If you win, they'll come from Palm Beach down to Miami, or they'll go Miami all the way to Palm Beach.
I don't think they're coming from Palm Beach anymore. I think that's done.
Of course not. If you're not winning, they're not coming. They do for the Heat and for the Dolphins. They do.
From Palm Beach to the Heat, yeah?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
I wouldn't know about that, so.
They have their fans that come from Palm Beaches for sure, dude.
Okay.
Palm Beach fans
I'll take your word for it. I don't know.
Palm Beach fans will come, dude, but you do something to bring them down. And then they'll drive. We have to drive everywhere, so that's normal.
Yeah.
But you have to give us a reason. Oh, it's a great restaurant. It's a great party. It's a great movie. Well, I need you to be a good team, dude. I need you to win. I need you to entertain. If you want me to drive down there, I'm going to do it. That's usually the attitude.
Yeah.
But, it's up to them, dude. It's really up to them. All right, what do you got going on the sports grid?
Well, I have a show coming up here soon, so I got to get ready for it. 2:00 Eastern, Newswire, sportsgrid.com, and the app is free. Streaming is free, so anybody could watch it. We'll give out some picks in the NFL today, coming up a little bit later. Also, DraftKings, FanDuel, all the betting companies have their earnings reports from the last quarter, so we'll reveal those as well. And naturally, we go over some of the news of the day, forced to talk about this Kyrie Irving thing over and over again. Probably my least favorite story in a long time to have to do. That's for sure.
Yeah, I know. We were just talking about it with Ira and, how Leonard Myers, they didn't wait. And with Kyrie, they have dragged their feet.
Some comments from Durant now. Oh, my gosh. This is never going to end. But it has to be talked about because it's very serious. I am Jewish, obviously. It's distressing for me. So... But naturally, look, better
listen,
things.
We got, as I told Ira and I've told everybody else on the show, and I'll tell you, we have to stand up for all kinds of hate. Doesn't matter what it is, dude. Whether it's our Jewish community, whether it's our Black community, whether it's our
Sure.
LGBT community, our Asian community, they are all under attack for one reason or another. And you don't realize it because you're not Asian, or you don't realize it because you're not Jewish, or you don't realize it because you're not Black, or you don't realize it because you're not part of the LGBT community. And there's probably others that I've left out in general. But what I'm saying is there are communities that are constantly dealing with all kinds of hate.
Sure.
And the last thing we have to do as a society is to fuel hate on any level. And that's it. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
I don't think that's hard.
Yeah. And just announce it, which is very easy to do.
Very easy. Very simple.
I know
And
would
it's
have been
very simple
sufficient.
to be, and by the way, it's very simple to be caring. You actually got to try to go out of your way to be an asshole.
I
Just
agree.
want you to know that. Just try that in life. How it's really easy to say nice, but then somehow if you want to be a dick, you got to kind of like be crafty and you got to start working at it. It's so hard to be a jerk. Just be nice, dude.
It's very, very tough. Tough to watch this stuff. But looking forward to the weekend. Big college game tomorrow. Probably going to determine who gets in the playoff between Georgia and Tennessee. And then naturally,
I got FSU Miami, bro. What are you? Come on.
I'm done with that. Are you kidding me? I mean, listen, Mario may turn it around, but my gosh, like the biggest frauds I've seen, that this is all of a sudden going to be something. And oh my God, like, I mean,
If he's going to turn around, he's got to flush out a lot of characters. It's too much. There's too much of that. They put on the helmet and they think they're the you, and that's
I mean, Manny Diaz was better, but anyway. So I'll be watching that, and then Little League game tomorrow at 11, and then World
There you
Series,
go.
obviously.
That's
tomorrow night.
serious shit right there.
That is
all right,
really,
my brother. You
so
be a
have
good
a great
father,
weekend, my friend. See ya.
Much love. Follow him on Twitter at Craig Mish. We step out of the batter's box.
You've been listening to the Batter's Box with MLB and Marlins insider Craig Mish. The Batter's Box is brought to you by Wilton Rayon Attorneys at Law. Personal injury, homeowners, or condo property damage, bankruptcy, or criminal defense. Call for a free consultation at 954-966-4646 or go online at WRFLA.com. Download any episode by subscribing to our podcast at Big O Radio Show on most platforms.
All right, we thank Craig Mish for joining us here on the program. We thank the great folks at Slomin's Home Shield. Don't forget 1-800-ALARM-ME. They're a proud sponsor of our program, and we can give away a free doorbell camera right now to the first 40 Big O listeners. 1-800-ALARM-ME. And when you use that doorbell camera, oh, man, it is so easy to use that doorbell camera. It makes your life easy. Whether you see somebody there at the door you don't want to talk to, whether it's somebody delivering some food, you're going to love that doorbell camera. And the keypad is so easy to use. The Slomin staff will show you how to use it. It takes just a couple of minutes. If a big dummy like me can learn how to use that pad in seconds, trust me, you're all way smarter than I am. So you'll be fine. 1-800-ALARM-ME. And when you use our professional installation and our low-cost central station monitoring, you're going to get an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3-arm doors, and a backup battery. Tell them that Big O sent you. We're in 14 different states. So it's not just Florida. Use the company we use to protect our home. Sean Stanley uses to protect his home. 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME. All right. We think, boy, we got a hell of a list here today. Cameron Wolf, Manny Navarro, Joe Shad, Scott Pianowski, Ira Winderman, and Craig Mish. That is one hell of a lineup. You will not get a lineup even close to that anywhere here in South Florida. Tomorrow, we're back at Walk-Ons. Tomorrow night, we'll be starting our pregame show at 5:30. We'll have giveaways every quarter. So come on out and join us, man, and have some fun out there, man, at Walk-Ons in Kendall for UM and FSU. All right, we'll see you tomorrow at 5:30, Sunday at 11 a.m. to get you ready for the Dolphins and the Bears, and we're back on Monday here at 10 a.m. We're out of here. We love you. See you tomorrow, same time, same place, same bat channel.
O Show. This is the Big O Show.